so much to Eliza's Havoc. I am your host, Eliza, and today we have a very, very special treat. Now, for some of you guys, you have heard me being on K Dot show. Let me go ahead and introduce K Dot.
Oh my
Is
gosh.
this wonderful chocolate man here that's my brother from another mother,
Thank you,
as
ma'am. I
well
appreciate you.
as
I
Miss
appreciate being
Jasmine, who
here.
is my sister from another mister, and
Hello.
the the white chocolate that literally just has to be all put up in a bunch. Mr. Road Dog and my best friend, Marcel. Marcel, this is one of my best
What up?
friends.
What
I
up?
trust him with my life. Look here, y'all come for him, I'm coming for y'all. That's it. It's a wrap. Okay.
Mm.
So that being said,
Let me get
we're
my
gonna go
drink.
ahead and do our official introduction to this very, very special part of the show. Okay, here we go.
Boy, you had me from the start. By the way you stared, the way you wrote up on me, yeah, yeah. Man, I felt your energy. Wasn't used to being loved and treated differently, yeah. But something went wrong, the signals got crossed, and now we're on completely different pages. Let's go where we were, where no one gets hurt.
All right. So, first of all, tell me, what did you guys think of that new introduction?
I love that.
I like it.
Nice.
That's lit.
Sorry, that's just a little side thing I've been working on. I'm so happy you guys like it. I feel like Erica Badu. I'm an artist and I am sensitive about my shit. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get to the matter of our conversation today. So, ladies and gentlemen, the conversation that we are having today is one that is dear to my K Dot and anybody else who has been in a relationship, who has been in a marriage, and the shit either worked out great or the shit, let's keep it real, just didn't fucking work. Today we're gonna sit there and talk about why do women not get want to get married, as well as why do men not want to get married. Okay. Now, mhm. Now I just want to go ahead and let everybody know this is what we consider a safe space. You are more than welcome to sit there and have difference of opinion. Here, there will be no attacking because everybody's opinion is valid. You ain't got to agree with it, but somewhere in somebody's life, that shit's on point, the shit's accurate. You ain't got to like it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is for those who can be able to take the information, let it sink in, and if you want your shit to work, heed our words. We only here to try to help you. So, with that being said, who wants to go ahead and start off? Mr. K Dot. You looking like you got something to say.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me on the show. This wonderful show. I think it's my first time actually being on the show.
It
So
is.
I'm a fan of the show. I'm in the comment section, but I'm never actually on the show. So it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show. I also want to give my condolences to Mark. He just said he just lost his mom.
Oh my
Um,
Oh,
gosh. Right now?
sorry to
yeah,
hear that.
Yeah, at 8:30.
yeah,
Oh my
8:30.
God.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
Mark,
sorry,
I,
Mark.
I'm so sorry. I know that might not mean a whole lot, but I truly am. I know what it feels like to lose a mother, and not only that, but in a lot of cases, the matriarch of your entire life. So know
And
that our prayers and love are with you and with her.
absolutely, absolutely, and so condolence to you um, and your family. Um, is this a So are you asking me the question as far as why men don't get married?
Yes, I am, Mr. K.
Okay.
Dot.
Okay. Well, I am. Well, I mean, I'm. I'm a type of person that focuses on outcomes and statistics and facts and data. Um, and from a lot of the men that I talk to, they're terrified of getting married because they feel like it's an insurance for women. Not only that, but in the statistics, 80% of women file for divorce, and it is scary. So I'm just, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, 80% of women file for divorce. Only 20% of men file. So we are, and that's we are. I'm not trying to ruffle no feathers, ladies. I'm just saying, we not known as the quitters in the relationship. That's all I'm saying. So not only that, but it's I do believe some men are not financially well off to be married, or maybe even emotionally intelligent enough to be married, because let's just say a lot of men have been raised in a single parent household and they don't know what a husband looks like. They don't even know what a wife looks like. So that's also terrifying too. And a lot of people just want to play the field. And I honestly, to tell you the truth, from 18 to maybe 29, I wouldn't advise it. I was married at 24. I shouldn't have never gotten married to the person that I was married to. But I don't think I was ready to be married anyway. But I do believe in marriage, and I actually do want to be married. So, but I'm just saying, for a lot of the men that I talk to, they're pretty much terrified. They don't see the benefit for them in being married. So I digress.
Does anyone want to rebuttal before I have something to say?
I just need to add, I like K-Dot's look on his face. Like,
so afraid right now.
I know. Don't be scared, K-Dot. Don't be scared.
I believe you.
I'm just saying, okay, so I hear what you're saying. Okay. I do. But at the end of the day, I also want to sit there and look at it from the female's point of view as well. Yeah. And actually, we were just discussing this not too long ago, that a lot of times we hear that women left first, which I'm not saying, I'm not here to argue whether that's true or not. But I will say is this. Women are it's widely known that women are emotional creatures, yes?
Yes.
So
that's true.
A woman is going to let you know that there is a problem. Okay? There is there's a disturbance in the force, so to speak. Okay. And when she's constantly letting the man know, hey, this is a problem. This is something that is bothering me. This is something that we need to address so that we can both be happy. Because right now, this is not only disturbing me, but it's disturbing my heart. It's disturbing my soul. It's disturbing me to a core, to the degree that I can't let it go. Okay. That should be a red flag, as in to say, okay, babe, what's going on if you continually bring this up? Here's the problem. There's a lot of people that call that nagging. That beautiful word that I'm probably going to sit there and have to look up the fucking definition to in a minute. A lot of times what men take as nagging is actually not nagging. That is us sitting there and trying to let you know. And then literally you're expecting to fight. And then you think that you're better off whenever a woman doesn't fight, not realizing that by the time a woman's not fighting anymore, she's starting the whole mourning process as far as the person that you used to be, the person she fell in love with, the person that literally is the reason why she's even in a relationship. Once she starts the mourning process, and understand, matter of fact, Jasmine, my beautiful, uh, my beautiful lady that's on my panel with me today. Tell me if I'm correct. And honey, if I'm not, please feel free to look, stop me, say something, whatever you gotta do, boo.
Jasmine giving me that evil stare right now, like she finna.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm taking mental notes. So you hold on, K Dot. You hold 1 minute.
Okay,
But my thing is,
getting hot in here.
Yeah, I'm hot too.
are
Shit.
you in the hell yet, baby? It's
Well,
all right.
hot.
And enjoy
Turn
the
the heat
AC.
off.
Enjoy, no. Enjoy the AC. By the time that women get to this point, we will mourn your ass while you are laying right there next to us. We will sit there and cry over you like your ass is not fucking there. We will sit there and mourn the man that used to fuck the shit out of us, that used to make us come with just in there saying, hey, baby, how's your day? Or that little whisper in your ear, I love you. We will start to cry and mourn and hurt and go through the whole process while y'all just happy because your girl ain't nagging. You fail to realize that by the time once again, women are emotional people. So by the time we leave, we're leaving mentally first. If we are sitting here and trying to come to you 1,000 different ways, some that are supportive, some that are literally just, well, fuck it. Since you don't want me to be loving, here, let me be loud and boisterous and let me do something that's so drastic that it forces your attention on us. So maybe you can hear what the fuck I got to say so we can save the marriage. And you're still like, but man, that bitch won't shut the fuck up. I need to go to the bar. This bitch the one fuck up. I need to go out with the boys. Or I need to do da da da. Okay. She hearing every fucking thing you are saying or that you're not saying. And so by this time, she's already started her process. And baby, she already out the door. So then it seemed like men want to sit there and say, when they realize they woman is out the door, oh, but baby, let me do it. Nah, bro. You had how much time? How much time did we sit there and yell, scream? I mean, shit, in some cases, some abusive cases, throw shit, fight, all kind, because unfortunately we're dealing with relationships. We not only dealing with the motherfuckers that got roses and sunflowers and unicorns and bullshit. We dealing with all of. We dealing with the irky, the yucky shit, the abusive shit, the mental fuckery, all of that, because it's a relationship, regardless. So by the time we get to here, we just like, bruh, we don't even want to sit there and try to put the energy to the shit no more. We didn't sat there and did that. That shit is dead. Not only do we mourn you, but we mourn ourselves and who we were with you, who we wanted to be with you, where we were going with you. We all of that shit. We die too. We die. Not, oh my goodness, we're sad. We cry about it, and then we gonna go out and just live our best life. No, we die along with mourning you and our idea of the relationship we were supposed to have, that we worked so hard for, that we loved, that literally that gave us the initial thought that, you know what, this might be the one, and this might be worth the chance, this might be worth the leap. Okay. So by this time, your woman seeming real cool because she ain't bugging your ass. But baby, I bet she's signing fucking papers. I bet she's sitting there going to that lawyer. You ain't even knowing. She's already sitting there and separating bank accounts, already sitting here making a plan. And it's not really that she was being fucked up. It's just that she tried to let you know you didn't want to hear it. And so K Dot already knows one of my biggest things is accountability.
I agree.
At the end of the day, y'all can sit there and say women divorce first, but men, are y'all taking accountability as to why and what your part in that, or what the lack of your part was? Once you do that, I guarantee the next time, shit, you ain't gonna have a problem. Oh, I hope not. Some people are hard headed. They gotta bang their head a few times. But
Am I allowed to rebuttal?
oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Let me get my bugles. I'm
Um,
ready. I'm with
the
it.
saying the last time I checked, it said for better or for worse. Um, and I'm not talking about, again, I'm not advocating for fuckboys or anything like that, or women abusers or anything like that, or mental, emotional abuse. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that we are going to have some rough times, but marriage was solidified to be a covenant for a forever thing. This was supposed to be a forever thing.
Okay, hold on. Stop. I gotta stop you right there, Kevin, because this
Okay.
is bothering me. K-Dot. So one of the
Issues.
first things that you said was that men don't want to get married because they feel like it's insurance for women, but now you're sitting up here talking about it's for better or for worse. Which one is it? Is it insurance or is it for better or for worse? You know
I
what I'm
was
saying?
I was rebuttaling the 80% thing as
Oh,
far
okay.
as far, that's what I was rebutting. I wouldn't, not the whole topic.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just saying,
Okay.
don't want to get shot. Okay.
Excuse me.
I come in peace. Okay.
Okay, well, proceed. Go ahead. Carry on. Keep going.
So let me clarify. I was speaking on the
Please
rebuttal of
do.
the 80%. That is factual, and you can actually look that up in the. You can Google it. You can research it.
Okay, but what kind of insurance are men providing that they think that a woman is gonna get from them being married?
Great,
I mean, yeah,
great
when you
question.
marry me, look, me as a woman, when I marry, I'm marrying a man because that's like I should feel secure marrying my husband. You know, that's my man. I should feel secure. I should be ensured that he's gonna take care of me and my family.
Okay.
Now, what type of insurance are you talking about? Are you talking about life insurance? Are you talking about you're gonna cheat and then my woman's gonna kill me? So
I
you
mean,
know
I'm
what
just
I'm
saying
saying?
that
Is
we
that for
gotta
life
start letting snap.
insurance
That's
money?
all I'm
Like, what are you
saying.
talking about?
We're gonna put
Okay.
that out
So I will gladly answer that question. When it comes insurance, when they meant insurance for the woman, if you guys
Okay.
have
So
property
you don't agree
together,
with this?
huh?
You said they. You said they. You're not representing men as a whole. You said
I'm just
they.
speaking. Like, this is what I'm
Okay.
hearing.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
In a way, I do agree.
Okay.
Depending on the circumstances, especially if you
Okay.
own
So
property
what
together.
type of insurance are you talking about?
Okay, the
Well,
insurance that
usually owning property comes after you get married, not before.
no, well,
Usually. But anyway, go ahead, carry on. So insurance, what kind of insurance are we talking about? Life insurance, medical insurance, dental insurance?
I'm not
What kind of
I'm not
insurance are you
talking.
talking about?
I'm not talking about that insurance. I think they
Okay.
used it as a metaphorical sense, as far as, just be honest. If they have property together, or if this man is already solidified in his career or whatever, if he's a business owner or any type of things like that, and then they also have children, she gets half, most likely, for the most part.
One word, prenup.
Divorce is not in the caterings to men, and you get most of the time you get the kids. You get that's not my situation. Thank God, because we're mature adults and we knew what we wanted and we didn't want to be in court. We're both good parents and we split everything down the middle. But
right, and you actually went to court, correct?
But I still pay child support, so it's really
but you still went to court, correct?
On the phone, yes, I did go to
right,
court.
But you still attended court, correct?
That is correct.
And then we over here complaining, oh, she gonna take everything, but then you don't even show up to court. So that doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? If you're already solidified and established, which 9 times out of 10 men don't have their shit together when we meet them. They want us to build a bear, build a man. You know what I'm saying? Then what insurance are you offering for marriage? Because I've had like 5 niggas propose to me, and I'd be like,
The insurance is you get,
because I'm solidified.
You get child support. Sometimes you get spousal support. Sometimes you get half. and most of the time you get the kids.
And usually you have to prove that all that stuff is worthy. You know what I'm saying? The judge doesn't just automatically say, hey, you get child support. Hey, you get spousal support. You have to prove your case in court. So
But
again,
men have to prove harder. And
No,
if you
I
check
agree
most
with
of the
that.
cases, if you check most of the cases, it that benefits in divorces, it benefits women more than men. I'm just saying. I'm just being fair. That benefits more than men. So that is the reason why a lot of men, well, not a lot of men, this is actually a small portion of men, that don't want to get married. And they're just like, you know what? Or they'll want to get married, but they don't want the government in their business. I've heard that as well. So
okay, K-Dot, let me
The
ask you
government
something.
gonna be, if you file taxes, the government is in your business.
I know.
Well, yeah,
I'm just
but then okay,
I'm
hold
just
on,
saying
hold on.
I'm just this one I'm hearing. That's
The government is always in your business.
I agree.
Okay? Can't run from Uncle Sam.
Okay.
Hold on. Here's my thing.
We all got the same uncle.
Here's something that I noticed and that I heard earlier. K-Dot, did you not sit there and say there is a chance that you will have to pay child support. There is a chance you will have to pay spousal support. There is a chance you may have to pay that spousal support, aka alimony. And then there's also a chance she might get the kid. You know what I heard in all that? A chance. So I don't know about you, but I don't know what here. I'm not gonna invest in any kind of insurance that's iffy. I'm not a gambling woman.
Oh, Eliza,
Okay?
that's cute. That's cute.
That's
You did that, but okay.
I mean,
All right, I give you that.
I mean, that's what I heard though. And you
No,
know, no, hold on. I'm not sitting there saying that for some men that is not their reality. I heavily do believe it is. But I mean, I'm not
So
gonna
can I
lie.
ask
I
you?
know a lot of guys. I
ask you
know a
a
lot of guys that took their baby mama to court and got full
Yeah.
custody, and she the one paying child support. You know
Exactly.
what I'm
But
saying?
maybe-
So
And
maybe
alimony.
where
not.
there's a will, there's a way. But half the time, men don't have that will. You know what
You
I'm
just-
saying? They
you
don't want
just-
to make a way. They just be up. I lost. You know what
Now
I'm
you
saying?
just said
They
baby
don't
mama.
show up to court.
Well, hold
You
on.
just said
I'm
baby
sorry. No,
mama.
I'm thinking about
You
Halle
have a
Berry.
baby by somebody that's
Hold
your
on.
baby mama.
I'm
Right.
thinking about
Well, I
Halle
mean,
Berry. Hold on. Halle
But
Berry
I
was
would,
just
but
married. And
I
that's
don't have a
long
baby.
ago.
I have an ex-wife
Hold
because
on.
she was married to.
Baby mama. She's still
I
your
mean,
baby
she
mama.
is, but
That's your baby's mama.
I think,
BM. It's like she's like BM.
but is that not respect? Because you said a couple of times, you said you never said baby dad. You always said ex-husband.
Yes.
Because we were, I mean, I get you. I did. She was married.
I feel you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though we do have a child, I do give her that respect. She's not a baby mother to me. She is the mother of my child, and she's my ex-wife.
Okay.
So
okay, you know what? I
mean, I can be petty like that, but
I mean,
thank you so much for not being.
no, but I'm being respectful. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right, I'll respect that.
because you earned. I'm just saying she earned that
Hold on,
at that time. I guess.
Road Dog, if you would be so kind as to go ahead and give us a moment so we can go ahead and do a little bit of digression real quick and go ahead and tend to the comments for us real quick, please. I guess for some reason on my main channel, it's not showing that we're live on my main channel. It may now.
Yeah, I was over there and I didn't see any comments over there.
And we live on my channel too. We live over here on my channel.
Well, I see a comment that says men cannot compete with the state. All I hear is government forced child support, alimony, etc. That is not true. I don't agree with that at all. Like I said, I know a lot of men that have custody of their children and the mother of their children is paying child support. So
I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there.
Compete, but hold on. You can't compete where you don't compare. So
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna piggyback off what she said. Actually, those of you all who know my husband, X-Out1, we are one of those families that his ex-old lady, hey, whenever they divorce, he got everything. He got the kids, got the house, got the car, got everything. I've been raising my little bonus children's since they was what? 4, 5? They've been my babies. So, I mean, she's not lying, and I'm a living proof. If y'all want to, y'all can sit there and question X out as soon as y'all see him.
Well, I mean, I'm a living proof of I spent 10 grand on my wedding.
Oh, he did too. But
and again, even though we, I guess, quote unquote, split everything down the middle as far as everything, I still pay child support. She does not. But Caden is living with me.
Right. You
so,
have custody of little man too, right?
Where's the fair deal?
Do the courts know that Caden is living with you?
Does the courts know that yeah.
Have you told the courts that he's living with you majority of the time? Or does your child support need to be modified?
I don't mind paying child support. It is what it is. I'm a
right.
provider.
Well, clearly you do mind because you're talking about it. So
no,
I'm saying, do the courts know? Do the courts know that you have full custody, that you have your son all the time? Because if you have full custody, then you shouldn't be paying child support. Point blank. Period. Well,
it's a little different when it comes to marriage because we also, for instance, we also stated that, me and Rena agreed that I wouldn't pay child support because I am a good father and I do take care of my son very well. Jasmine, you are a witness to that. But the courts didn't give a shit and was just like, you're paying child support. So now, was
he living with you full time at the time when that decision was made?
At the time when the decision was made, no.
Exactly. Okay. I rest my case.
Well, let me go ahead and put it like this. You know what? We have heard
it was half and half.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We have heard from two amazing people on this panel, but there are also two just as amazing people that we have not heard from.
Yes.
So, Mr. Simply Marcel, can I go ahead and get your viewpoint?
I'm trying to wait on my drinks to kick in.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we are prepared.
Yes. Oh. Yes. Okay.
I got water.
But I will say that
I say it's hot here.
My AC is on. It's all good. We're good. We are prepared.
Hot here.
But at the end of the day, I'm gonna just say I'm speaking from both sides because I consider myself to be bisexual. I'm afraid to reproduce, and that's one reason why. I don't like the child support thing. I don't like the custody thing. I don't like having to prove yourself that you're worthy to take care of a child, X, Y, Z. So just to be real, people forget that women are set up to be appreciating assets. No matter how you look at it, what I'm saying, you got to follow me. Women are made to be, women are set up to be able to leave a relationship, rebound, go right back to their life. And most men forget that. They don't understand that most men are set up to be able to fall and restart, where women pick up where they left off, where they entered the relationship and keep moving and grow themselves. And most men forget to acknowledge that. So when you leave that relationship and you say, oh, she got me for child support, she got custody of the kids and all that, that's what I'm talking about. She is in a position to grow. If you're not putting yourself in that position to also grow, you're going to fall right within the court system and they're going to deem you as an unfit father, X, Y, Z. So I understand what Jasmine's saying as far as some men take note of that and they proceed accordingly. Most men, they just be like, oh, well, she going to get everything, so I ain't even going to fight for it. Mm-hmm. Get your shit together. Like you see so many men around. Now, I'm in Atlanta. I don't know where everybody else is, but I see a whole different atmosphere than most people because you look at all these dudes out here, they running the streets, they doing everything else. Yeah, the courts ain't gonna side with you. You ain't got no legit job. You don't have a bank account. You don't have a legit place. You stand with some female. You don't even have a permanent residence. So how's the court gonna deem you fit? Now, if the thing was flip side to where you actually had a place, you had a decent job, you have reliable transportation, you can prove all this to the court, how you gonna lose when pretty much she with you and gotta restart her life? Now, I ain't saying to be biased towards that and use it as your advantage, but you gotta understand how the stuff go. Now let's be real. Price of pussy went up. You got all these men out here willing to pay for anything, especially in Atlanta. Now, how many people or how many women are paying for dick? How often are you taking her out to eat?
Hey, I know a few, but
I mean, they do, but I'm saying how often, like the ratio.
They do got a thing called rent-a-gent.
Right.
So
rent-a-gent, but I'm saying, like, how many times you go to the gas station and somebody be like, yo, let me take you out to eat, I'm gonna pay. Females don't do that.
Exactly. There was an old saying, a bitch can get
executive boss bays do.
Okay, go to Quick Trip right now and see what the ratio is that you see in the parking lot.
I'm sorry?
Go to Quick Trip right now and see who's offering what in the parking lot. Women are not approaching men. Men are approaching women.
You said women are not approaching men?
Not for real, not like that.
No,
they not like, yo, yellow shirt, yo, blue shirt. Let me take you out to eat. Let me get your hair done. Let me go get you a haircut. They don't do that. So you got to think of the same way in a relationship.
No, I agree.
Somebody's always on the other side of the street looking for what you got.
But here's the thing: the men that you were talking about, as far as the ones that you just labeled, those are only 16%. 16%. We're talking about 54% of black men are childless and not married, and 30% are actually married with children.
So you Google this on this live though.
I'm just saying. It seems like the 16% is more broadly put out toward the media, news outlets. White people say it all the damn time. Oh yeah, you got a baby, you got a black baby dad. Does he call his kids or whatever? We get that all the time, and the thing is, I'm sorry, it's disgusting. It's only a small percentage of men, but we get looped in that. You know, matter of fact, there was a question on Facebook not too long ago, and some lady, I forgot who it was, he said, when's the last time y'all called y'all kids, men? And I rebutted. I'm like, I'm sorry, excuse me, miss, that's disgusting. My son's right in the next room. A lot, and then men just started pointing. Yeah, we sitting right. I'm at the movies with my kid right now. I speak to my kid every single day. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, well, hold on. Ain't all of us ain't shit. But the thing is, the problem is when women say men ain't shit. No, ma'am, you haven't dated every single man. No, the men that you deal with ain't shit. So that's the accountability that you have to take. Just the same accountability for the woman or wife or whoever. I now that I think probably at the time wasn't the best choice, but I have to take accountability that I chose that woman or each and every woman that I've dated. We as men, we just have to deal with it because we're men. And you got to shut the fuck up and deal with it.
Let me ask you a question. You always throwing out these stats. When did you When did you participate in these polls that you be coming up with all these statistics? Did somebody call you up and say, "Dear Mr. Black Man, when did you fill this out?"
I didn't participate in the polls, but I'll tell you where to go to look at it.
So how are these polls accurate though? How are these polls
very
accurate?
much
Because who are they talking to? They might have talked to 10 people and then said 54% of blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to answer your question.
Okay.
You can go to Black Democrat. Can I speak?
Go ahead. I'm letting you speak.
Okay. You can go to blackdemographics.com, where the studies are done by Black people, for Black people. What was it? For like FUBU, for us, by us. So those are actually done by Black people. They're not done by any other race. They're done by Black people, and these are studies, and these are actually solidified. So you're more than welcome to go to Black Demographics.
But who are they studying? Because just like you say, women be
Black
like, "Oh, all men this," and all niggas, and yeah, but you can't get 200 people in a room and test them and then speak for the whole race. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly. Because I was about to say we sit here and talk about relationships.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said you don't have to believe me. You're more than welcome to do your own research, like I've done. And I see you asked me where I got the information from. I got it from blackdemographics.com. It is a solidified website. Go ahead and do your own research.
I'm gonna email them.
I'd like to rewind a little bit back to Mr. Simply. Mr.
What up, XI?
Why is the price of pussy increasing? When the number of men to women ratio, there's way more women there than there is men.
That's very true, and that's why men have more choices.
That is true. Before I was married, I lived that example.
I live that now.
So why don't they choose a lovely, wholesome wife instead of running away from trying to get married?
A lot of men
there's so many options out here.
A lot of men are boys. They're not even men yet. They haven't grown. They haven't matured.
And yeah, it does depend on the age. I don't advise any, like I said, from 18 to 29, I don't advise any man to get married, because really at the age of 40, really is when a man is financially stabilized, and whether they're the CEO of Fortune 500 companies or they starting their own businesses, where they're actually wanting to settle down and actually do a bit. I'm not saying every 40-year-old. I'm just saying majority. It would be wise to get married at that particular age, 45 and up. And that's why I didn't get the whole thing when I had seen a lot of younger women with older men. Matter of fact, my cousin, he's 10 years older than his wife. I think 10 or 15 years older than his wife. But he's the breadwinner. She works as well. But he takes damn good care of her. Very, very good care of her. And he don't even think about daddy? He don't even think about another woman. Like, huh? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question.
I said, was that a sugar daddy situation or?
No. Mm-mm. Nope. He actually they live together. They're married. They got a house. He helped raise their kids. All of that.
I think he has some connection. Oh, okay.
No, you're good.
So no, it wasn't a sugar daddy situation.
But you about to be 60, 40, 50, 60, chasing kids and all that. So where does that leave that in there?
Yeah.
I didn't say that you have to. I'm talking about that's when the norm as far as men are financially more financially stable to take care, because you got to have money to take care of a family. That's just not cheap.
Education needs to be trickled down to the younger generation, and that's where it starts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay.
You're saying at the age of 40, so that means that we need to start bringing that age back down, because who's gonna wait till 40? Like, think about it like this. Most men talk down on women who got multiple kids or multiple baby daddies. They done tried, got pregnant once or twice, 3 times or whatever in the process. There's a big gap between, let's be real, women having kids at 17, 18, lower, but I'm just going to acknowledge 17, 18. 17, 18 to 40. That's a big gap.
That is a big gap. I'm talking about, but I'm not talking about for women. I'm talking about for men.
Same thing.
No.
You fucking at 17, 18, you gonna have a slip up here and there. You got multiple baby mamas at that point, and you pretty much are looked at as a man who got multiple kids, to where all of her friends are saying, run. He got all these baby mamas, and let's be real, baby mamas don't always get along with each other.
That's true.
Drama.
That's true. We ain't lying about that.
3 baby mamas.
I got
jealous
friends
because you got your life together now versus back then.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that particular part. But what I'm saying is that it's more beneficial for a woman in her 20s to possibly get married, is because of the the geriatrical pregnancy rate is 35 to where that you can be at risk. Not to say that you can't have can't have children at 35. 35 and up is just more of a risk, a health risk, especially for Black women. And it would be wiser to have children in your 20s, being married. And that's what I'm saying. We're a lot. I think I heard a podcast. I think it was like, I think 8 at the Table or something like that. And there was a Hispanic male, and he was asked, and this was his opinion. What is the difference between a Black woman and a Hispanic woman getting raised as far as when it comes to relationship? And he said, well, Hispanic women are raised to be wives, to their mother is to teach them how to be a wife, where black females are raised to be strong, independent, and possibly not do for self, just in case you don't have a man for you. And so, and a lot of the reasons is because they're raised in single parent households.
Yes,
unfortunately.
But can I
in some
speak
cases.
on that real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to speak on that real quick.
Okay.
Because I hear this so often, and I feel like
Right.
I need to break it
That's
down.
stupid.
Well, not just that, as to why.
Actually,
because I think there is a whole lot of misconstrued. There's a whole lot of information that's misunderstood and misconstrued. Okay, so I just want to sit there and explain something. A lot of times, the reason that Black women are raised like this. Now, I'm not saying that this does not work in other BIPOC, uh, 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 other BIPOC communities. Okay, but the main reason that it was done this way with women, especially Black women, is because you guys have to sit there and remember. And I'm saying you guys because we are not the part of the generation where they're trying to whitewash everything. We actually remember some of the history. Okay, so whenever there were men that were being lynched by clans, whenever your brother, your elder men, your fathers, your grandfathers were having to deal with the clan and being lynched and being hung, it was still a Black woman's responsibility to hold the family together and keep it going. Because at the ends of the day, that was the main reason why they sat there and they went after our men as strongly as they went after our men, was because the men was the head of household. Okay, the man was the one that was the breadwinner. The men were the ones that were the protectors. And think about it: if you sit there and take out that aspect, take out the breadwinner, take out the protector, take out the shield, you know, then what their mentality was is that now they're left defenseless. Okay, and so we had to buck up because, I mean, shit, there was nobody there to do it, and it wasn't because they left. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, baby. It's okay. It wasn't because they left or they chose to. It was because they were taken from us. And so that's why we had to learn and be taught to, even though it hurts, not to cry about it. Because we can sit there and spend a few moments, a couple hours sitting there crying about it. But after that, we got to sit there and go ahead and keep it moving. Because guess what? That's what they're looking for. These men are looking to take our homes, are looking to take our land, are looking to sit there and take our daughters and our wives and sit there and do whatever they want to do with them now. So we have to find a way to continue to protect ourselves, especially if we have young boys and young men. I mean, I don't want to sit there and try to make this a racial thing, but unfortunately, some of the conditioning is based off of, racial trauma, and that's a lot of reason why we have the mentality of we have to get it done. Now, for a lot of Black women, and I said this before and I'm gonna say it again. Yes, a lot of us are strong, okay? In some people's eyes, too strong. But at the end of the day, we don't have a problem submitting whenever we find somebody we're submitting to. Understand, we're not just gonna submit to any old thing because it comes around, bangs on his chest, and sits there and says submit.
Absolutely. I agree.
So if you all want to have a submissive woman, if you all want to sit there and have a woman that is in her femininity, if you guys want to have a woman that can make you feel as loved as you want them to feel, You know, y'all got to show that. And I know a lot of men, they're like, well, you know what? Hey, if I'm sitting there and doing this and da 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 da, you know, what do you bring to the table? First of all, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out like this. I'm not gonna compete with you. I'm not. I refuse to. At the end of the day, as a woman, I know my role. I know my role as a submissive woman. I also know my role as a very dominant woman. Okay. With that being said, I'm not going to compete with you. What we're supposed to bring to the table is not the same. Therefore, I'm not going to compete and try to be in a place where, you know, I'm bringing the same shit you're bringing. That's not my job. My job as a wife is to sit there and be an advisor to, you know, to the head of household. If something isn't going right, sitting there saying, baby, I don't think you should go outside. Baby, you know what, baby? I understand they sitting there talking shit. I understand they doing this. I understand they baiting you. But baby, I need you to focus on me. Right now, this is about us. And right now, this is for the safety of our family. They are not worth it. I'm gonna need you to leave that alone. Okay. I know they sitting there and they fucking with your ego, baby. But look, I need you to be over here with me. That's what my job is. My job is not to sit there and be like, oh, well, you know what? I bring this and this and this and this, and you bring this and this and this. Okay, cool. Well, you know, let's have a pissing contest, honey. That's not my job. You want one of them? Please go find one of them. Look, stand peeing pussy all over the place. Please go find one of them. Okay.
Can I?
Even the dog agreed.
I agree with you. As far as the table, absolutely, you shouldn't be bringing the same thing that I'm bringing to the table because I'm a man and you're a woman and we're different. I don't need you to provide. I don't need your protection. What I do need is your inspiration. I need your femininity. I need your love. I need your support. Even at times, your wisdom. Women are known to be very wise creatures. And not only that, and you're talking about competing, but if we really think about it, a lot of modernized women are competing against men. There's a question that I asked. I said, single ladies, why is it that you're competing with men but not competing for the men that you want? You want. Not anybody else want, not the girl down the street want, but you want. And what I'm saying, and as far as competing, because a lot of people get, you know, it misconstrued. I ain't competing for no goddamn man. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that cooking, cleaning, rubbing your man's back, being his piece, that is competing. Not saying that you got to go out here and
said rubbing his balls too. That's part of competing shit.
I appreciate that too. I appreciate that too. You know,
shit.
and just like men, we're going to be compete. We're hunters. We're natural hunters. So we're automatically we have that competitive spirit. We're gonna make sure our woman good, because if we don't, guess what? We can be replaced.
Exactly.
So again, I don't think anybody should be comfortable in a relationship. I think we should always strive to be better than we were yesterday. You know, I'm not saying we got to kiss each other's ass or agree on every single thing. No, because I don't want no yes man on my team either. I want to be held accountable just like I'm gonna hold her accountable. You know, that's why I say I don't want an independent woman. If you happen to be independent because you're taking care of yourself, congratulations for being an adult. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is I would love an interdependent woman that thinks about the relationship and feeds the relationship, just like I'm feeding the relationship equally. And like you said, Jasmine, equally yoked. We're both given to the relationship. We're not one's taking all. And I don't believe in happy wife, happy life. I do believe in happy spouse, happy spouse. That's what I do believe in. Because I do believe it doesn't matter if I'm happy and you're not happy, it's not gonna work. If you're happy and I'm not happy, it's gonna be some friction. It's not gonna work, especially if it's for a long term. So what I'm saying is that let's feed each other as far as the relationship and grow together and build together with that. But let's not forget our duties as far as, because a husband has duties, not a title. A wife has duties, not a title. So I will digress.
I got a question about that, Mr. K. Dot.
Oh Lord,
If
it's
that's
hot
the
in here.
case, Bush, if that's the case, here's my question. If it's
Okay.
happy house, happy spouse, or happy spouse, happy house, however you put it,
Okay.
then why is it that whenever I sit there and I say that honestly, whenever it comes to submission, to the two spouses to submit to each other, why is that so nerving? Why is it that anytime I say that and I mean it, I seem to hit a nerve? But then again, you just sat there and said that we both should be happy.
But that has
Wait,
nothing to do that. Okay, that has nothing. You said submission. A wife should I don't want to be with a woman that is not going to submit to me.
well,
Just
okay,
like
hold on.
that's
Why are you so
because,
triggered when I sit there and say both should submit? Because honestly, I believe that honestly, when you're dealing with a real woman, a really good woman, honestly, you are going to submit just like she is going to submit. And
no,
honestly, at the end of hold on, at the end of the day, it's all about balance. So therefore, if there is a time where she ever feels like she has to sit there and try to, you know, become like here, let me give you a scenario. If you end up getting sick, okay, and let's say that you're very very ill, okay, because a lot of men turn into children whenever they get sick, okay.
you
So
said
if
because
there's
what?
a lot of men tend to turn into small children,
Oh,
little
I do.
boys, when they get sick, okay.
Transparent over here.
So uh with that being said, what if that happens to be the day that somebody decides they want to sit there and try to run up, test your house, test your wife, and you can't do it because you sitting here sick. I mean, you ain't even sick enough you ain't even well enough to get up off the bed, okay? Then when she's gonna have to sit there and do what the fuck she needs to do too. And after she's sitting here and done doing what the fuck she needs to do, and she's sitting here and telling you about it, but of course she's a little angry and shit like this, are you gonna be like, but no, babe, you should submit to me though? Nah, like come on, man. Like I don't know. I find
No. That was cute, but no.
that's
First of
cute.
all, physically, you're talking about I'm physically impaired. I'm not even gonna think about submission. First off, I'm gonna be thinking about protecting my home, regardless if I'm sick or not, if I can do it.
There's
But
that part.
as a leader, right, the head of the household, I am supposed to trickle that particular knowledge down to my wife, to where it transitions to my kids. I believe in the Second Amendment all the way.
But you
But
thinking
what
that you have to sit there and explain that to your wife? You don't think your wife has the skills to be able to do that, but she's managed to live her life and she's managed to be here and healthy and okay the entire time before y'all got together, but you think you have to teach her how to handle that?
I'm not saying I have to teach her, but what I'm saying is that it wouldn't hurt if she already had the knowledge, because maybe she was taught by her father, who's a gun owner. I mean, all right, she knows what she's doing. But what I'm saying is that there is a ranking system in family dynamic. There's God, there's men. Because I'm supposed to submit to God. How am I can't submit to God and to you at the same time. Is what I'm saying. There's a ranking system. There's God, men, women, children. So here's the thing. What I'm saying is that if a robber comes to my house, and I'm talking about I'm in perfect health, okay, I don't want my woman beside me. I want my woman to go get the kids and get the fuck out of the house. Let me take care of it. That's my job. If that means my life, then that just means my life. Because that's what
Okay,
I was put on this earth to do, is to protect. And what
okay.
I'm
So
saying is that,
have you
and
hold
what
on?
I'm saying is, and
Have you
what
considered what she wants in that scenario?
I'm sorry,
Have you ever considered what she wants in the scenario?
we would have
I
that
mean,
conversation. We would have that conversation, and if she doesn't agree with the ranking system, then I'm not the one for her, and that's okay.
well, see, it's not even a ranking system. It's a matter of protection because, okay. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day,
That's like asking God to submit to me. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like that. Like, no, I don't.
that, that,
We not. No, I submit to God, and that's That's the person that I'm submitting. That's a ranking system. He's at the top at
Okay, but
everything.
here's
He's
my
the head
thing.
at everything. He's the
Yes,
Lord of
you're
Lords, King
saying
of Kings, all that type. I'm not really that religious, but what I'm saying is, yes, ma'am.
What I'm saying is this.
Okay.
You're sitting there saying that you guys will have this conversation, and you say if she doesn't agree with the Reiki system, and let me not say that. Let me say if she just doesn't agree with that due to whatever trauma or memory or experience that she has had prior, you're gonna instantly sit there and say that you would no longer be interested, but she's sitting here hitting everything else on the
Well, it
nail.
depends. If we're dating, and I'm clearly and I'm taking her on a date, which is actually a financial investment, and I'm giving her my time, which is my mental, spiritual, and physical investment. We will clarify that right there. I mean, it's kind of like if you want to buy real estate and you don't ask the right questions, and you get a shitty property, who's that left on? That's left on the buyer. Correct? Right or wrong?
I believe so, but luckily I didn't have that experience.
I mean, it might look nice on the outside, but damn, the pipes is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, you never asked those questions. The pipes is, you never got an inspector, and the inspector.
What I'm saying is the whole time we've been having this conversation, honestly, you're talking about a woman like she's a piece of property, and it's almost like you failed to talk to her about.
We're talking.
It's like you failed to talk about her like she is a person. I honestly think that is another societal construct that has been built. Because so many times, we've already sat there as a team. When I say as a team, I mean the black man and the black woman. Once again, I sit there and trying to make it racist, but I'm just sitting there trying to prove a point, y'all. It's really been looked on us like we weren't even able to, we were animals. We were less than. We don't have a mind and we don't have opinions. And even if we do, they're not important. So then it's like, okay, so you sat there and took the power upon yourself. So now you can be sat there, you can be seen as somebody that in your mind is worthy, which is great because I would never take that from somebody else. But you talk about her, your woman, as in a piece of property. And you have to remember, she is a person. She has opinions. She has a thought. She has mind. She has her own experiences. You're sitting here saying y'all can have a conversation. But if it's not matching up to par, exactly everything to allow you to honestly, in a lot of women's minds, now this might not be how you interpret, but this is how a lot of women are taking it from the way you are putting it, from the way you are utilizing your words. And a lot of people's minds, they are supposed to be property, aka seen, not heard, aka looking pretty on the side, but at the end of the day, I mean, shit, they're just supposed to sit there and do what you want to do, and it then becomes a control of power. And let's be 100%. A lot of women ain't willing to give up no power, just like men don't want to give up any power. And I think a lot of women, that's one of the reasons.
And to rebuttal that, I didn't say anything about property. I didn't say that they were property. But if we want to go there, we're talking about the sexual value marketplace. Okay.
No, we're not.
Hold on. Wait. And the reason why I say that, is because what's that famous phrase that we say, right? When we're with somebody and we finally not dating we actually in a relationship. Oh, I'm off the market. Right? We're talking about the sexual market value place. That's what we're talking about. I am making an investment in you, just like I'm sure you would be making an investment in me. That's why a date is just an interview to get to know each other.
Honestly, you're not making an investment on me. You're trying to make an investment on my pussy. And if that's the case, that's something kind of all the way different.
No, that is not true. That is not true. What I'm saying is that at an investment or whatever, let's just get that scenario. I also have the choice to walk away, just like you also have the choice to walk away. Right. No, I don't like you any less. I don't, it's just we don't agree on. That's totally fine. But I'm allowed to walk away. So if I feel like my ideologies and and your ideologies don't match up or in line, okay, we're grown people. We're free Americans. We're free to go about and be with somebody who does match with our alignments. Is just that I won't deal with you. Simple as that. I'm allowed to walk away, and so are you. So if you don't agree, I don't like this deal. I don't like it. Okay, cool. God bless you, and I wish you nothing but the best. And we part ways. That's it. We're grown people. We're allowed to do that. We have freedom of choice. That's all I'm saying. But I want to be very clear. Even though my ideologies are straightforward and direct, doesn't mean that I get to neglect my duties as putting forth effort as being a husband. Doesn't mean that I get to be lazy and she gets to do her she gets to cook, clean, and I just sit on my ass all day and not work. And no, it doesn't work that way. You have to bring something to the table, just like she's bringing to the table. And I would hope both things are not. I don't want her to bring any of my duties to the table because I already have those qualities already. I was raised by a husband who's currently married 35 years, my father. My mother worked. She chose to work a job, but she did not allow her job to oversee her wifely duties and her duties as a mother. We came first. So I digress.
I love the fact, and after this, I want either Jasmine or simply Marcel to go ahead.
This is a dope conversation, by the way. This is a dope conversation.
Hold on. Here's the thing I wanted to say. I love the fact that your parents are still going strong, and I think that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say this. Not every relationship is like that. And whenever you're sitting here and trying to find a partner, you also have to sit there and do some research on where they came from. And even if their parents are still married, happily married, sitting there and pushing 30, 40 years, their entire experience could have been completely and totally different. And honestly, that lady could sit there and give you the same argument. Because I wasn't raised by a wife, but actually I kind of was. I was one of those that my upbringing was very much, it took a village to raise a child. So I didn't just have one mom. I had moms all over the neighborhood. I had dads all over the neighborhood to make sure that I got both of those, not just one dynamic, but I actually had a fuller view. I got family that's Italian. I got family that's white. I got family that's Mexican, Indonesian. I got family all over the place. And I promise you ever meet any of them, they'll sit there and tell you they're my family. And you try to sit there and challenge them, you're going to get hands. But at the end of the day, not everybody had that same experience. Therefore, not everybody's going to have that same type of ideology. Even if they did have that experience, that's still not saying that they're going to have that type of ideology. Does that make sense? I mean, I often hear you talking about your parents. And once again, I think it's beautiful. Nowadays, shit, that's a treasure nowadays. But we also all grown folks in here. We ain't part of that damn younger generation. You feel me? Like, we all understand that, okay, so we're going to have to sit there and do some give and take. But even in the give and take, and I'm only making an assumption, I'm pretty sure your dad didn't sit there and go to your mom and be like, hey, I want this, 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 and this, and this, and this. And if you don't give me this, hey, it's cool, on to the next. I'm pretty sure they didn't do that. I'm pretty sure they sat there and they may have many conversations, and then certain things came up. And as certain things came up, and a lot of times things are not verbally spoken, but body language is another form of communication. Having a mental understanding is another form of communication. I'm pretty sure they were able to communicate in that way. Because a lot of times, if you already coming up here saying, okay, so I need you to do this, 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 and this, and this, you don't realize it, but you're leaving a whole lot open for the shit that you weren't thinking of because you were only thinking of this amount of shit. Does that make sense?
No. What I hear is feelings. I don't hear outcomes. What I'm saying is that you said this is a different generation, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So why would I'm gonna follow the generation that, well, not maybe not. Well, actually, it was kind of the generation that what was it, the Gen X, the Generation X, which crack era, all that type shit. Yeah, the saying.
Road dog.
They made it out.
Actually, you should have seen my
again.
face when I heard him say he disagreed with you.
Look,
I
are you gonna dig his hole, or do you want to give him the shovel? That's all I want to know.
I've already got a
I'm prepared to take the shovel. I'm prepared to take the shovel. What I'm saying is that as my parents, yes, we are in a different generation. I understand that, but that's why I really get with people. If I'm marriage minded, right, and that's what I clearly am. I actually do want to be married. But I don't try not to hang with too many single people, especially, boys that are not necessary. Maybe some of my friends who are not marriage minded, going to the club and just getting them one night stands and blah, 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 blah. I'm not really on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm really getting what I'm doing right now is getting my bread, getting my paper, making sure, I got my own business as far as DJing and making sure and starting another business here pretty soon, and got my 9 to 5, and my goal is my son, is making sure that he's taken care of. But as I'm doing that, I want to be able to make sure that I'm building the foundation, that I got enough income to take care of a family, which I do. I have enough money to take care of a family. So I'm not going to be wasting my time going to a club in temporary situations. And I'm not saying that you can never find a wife at the club, but it's kind of rare. I think pretty much everybody knows what you know what I'm saying, for the most part.
Look.
I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just saying it's
once again, he's saying this, y'all, to a married ex-stripper. But please continue.
No, I didn't say just. I'm saying the club. I'm just,
the man
just
has
using
a
an
wife
example.
from the club, and I'm every bit of a wife. But please continue.
I understand, but I'm talking about, hell, you can meet your wife at the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You can meet her at a bookstore, or not really a church goer, but possibly church, or but then again, some of them women be wearing they be going out clubbing Saturday and they be wearing the same dress that they were on Saturday to Sunday. But that's neither here or there. But what I am saying is that I try to do what works. That's why I go with numbers and try to. That's why I ask the important questions that I want in a wife. Are you fit to be a wife? Are you that's and I want you to ask me those questions. Are you fit to be a husband? And I can label the reasons why I am from X, Y, and Z. Those are the important questions that that need to be answered. But not only that, but it needs to be more forthgiving as far as, okay, enough of that. This is what I'm willing to give to you as your significant other, and I'm gonna give you X, Y, and Z. And then
I'm over it. Let me jump in. Okay.
Look, because I'm about to say something different. Like,
go ahead, Jasmine.
So first of all, I want to address the fact that said that a lot of people, Black women, aren't getting married because they're raised in a single parent household. I do not necessarily agree with that, because my mom was raised in a 2-parent household, and she ended up being a single parent. And so I was raised in a single parent household. However, my mom still taught me the values of the roles of a woman. You know what I'm saying? She still taught me that men take out the trash, men service your car, you cook, you clean, you know what I'm saying? She taught me the morals and values of a traditional household. And so for the younger generation, I would say that they're not raised the same. And so back in the day, way back in the day when my grandma was little, you know, people were getting married at 14 years old. Okay. You have a young black man getting married at 15, but when he was getting married at 15, he also had a house. You know what I'm saying? He was going to work every day. The woman was taking care of the household. Nowadays, black men aren't raised to be husbands. You know what I'm saying? Just like a lot of women aren't raised to be wives. You know what I'm saying? And so me, you know, I'm 35 years old. I'm a strong, independent woman. I have businesses. I have, you know, I'm set. Okay. And so a lot of men are intimidated by me because they're like, oh, you know, she's too strong-minded, too strong-willed. But here, check this out. I don't want to be strong all the time. I want to throw in the fucking towel sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody to say, baby, I got you. Don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? And so until that man comes along, I will continue to be a strong, independent black woman. But when that man does come along, I know how to submit. I know how to serve my man a plate before I serve the kids. You know what I'm saying? I know how to be soft and rub his shoulders. You know what I'm saying? I know how to do all that. But a lot of the times, men are expecting women to act a certain way and audition for this role, but they don't want to do their part. You know what I'm saying? A relationship goes both ways. It's like a plant. You know what I'm saying? You got to water it. You got to grow it. You got to take care of it. If you don't, it dies. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? And so,
but to be fair, didn't I say that?
I feel like people are not on the same page, and that's why marriages don't work. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, personally, from my point of view as a woman, that a lot of men always have a backup plan, or they always be, you know, playing games and, okay, well, just in case this don't work, I'm gonna keep Keisha and Ashley and Jessica in my back pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, loyalty is a big thing for me. Okay, for me. I'm not speaking for all women, but for me. If I can find somebody that's loyal, then we can move forward. But until then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay with being single. I'm okay with being by myself because I have a saying, I could do battle by myself, but when I'm by myself, I'm winning like a motherfucker. Okay. So
sorry,
that's all I had to say about that. Okay.
Okay. So let's not. Okay, and to go with that, as far as what you had stated, I stated that as far as men playing their role, as far as not, but they're actually executing their duties. I did state that. I didn't just say.
One more thing.
I didn't just say.
Don't no woman want a man that she can't learn nothing from. Okay. So
that's
if a woman is out of your league, leave her the fuck alone. Period.
That's what I'm saying is that's what, and I also mentioned leadership. You can't lead a family if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You have to be a leader. You know. I want to be very clear. Women control the access to sex and when a child is born.
Okay, but before you start, before you start with all that, because we already know how that part's gonna go. I'm gonna let you say it in a minute.
Okay.
Before we start with all that.
Well, you actually agree with me on that particular part because I said because if they don't, it's called rape. I mean, it is. It's called rape. If
yes, it is.
If y'all don't give us consent, it's rape. That's what it is. And that's not okay. And that'll never be okay in my book.
Okay, hold on. Somebody in the comments said being alone is winning like a motherfucker. Really? Yes. And let me explain that. Okay. When I'm by myself, I have a wonderful bank account. Okay. I'm not worried about who's cheating on me. I'm not worried about why so-and-so is flirting with so-and-so on Facebook and Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm by myself, I'm focused. I'm like driven. You know, it's just me and mine. Okay. When I'm in a relationship, of course, you're supposed to invest time and energy into your partner. Okay. That's equal balance. Okay. You can't be in a relationship and not think about your partner. That just comes with being in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And so when I'm with somebody, of course, I'm going to invest time and energy into someone. And so when I'm investing the wrong time and energy into somebody, then of course that goes wrong, that goes bad. But when I'm by myself, I'm like, okay, I don't have them fucking problems. Like, my friends call me and they're telling me that their man is cheating on them. I'm like, that's why I'm single. You know what I'm saying? Thank God I'm single or whatever the fuck, you know.
Can I say something to that? Okay, so you said you talk about your money and I get it, and you are well off. I'm proud of you. I remember when I was right on that red couch and you told me all your plans, and I'm incredibly proud of you. But what I'm saying is that money ain't fucking you at night. That money ain't keeping you warm. That money ain't telling you. I'm talking about that
shit. I don't even think about sex. That's men shit. That's men shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. I mean, shit, I'm sorry, but if we're gonna sit there and talk about that, sweetheart, that money can give you access to them toys. And I don't know about
exactly.
Okay.
The money is buying me a dildo and
go to a sex shop. They got a whole row specifically for ladies. That's if they don't have.
This is all I need, and I'm good. Put a smile on my face. Have a nice fucking day. I'm good.
You didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish. You didn't let me.
Go ahead. And my blanket keeps me very warm at night in my king size bed built for a queen. But go ahead. Keep going. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Yeah.
All right. What I'm saying is that, yes, you can get a toy, but is that toy going to protect you? No. Is that toy going? Can you build?
I got a Mickey Mouse couture.
I have a security system.
I'm getting cut off again. This is what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about? Fellas, y'all see this, right? I thought I had the floor. Y'all see this, right?
Go ahead. Go ahead. At the end of the day, for me, when he comes along, he says, baby, I got you. Look, I'm going to let him get all of this. You know what I'm saying? He go, hey, baby, you got a gun? I got 5 guns. Cool, bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go to the shooting range. Okay, cool. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to be equally yoked to my partner. Some people don't know that.
And I want to be clear. Like, I am a witness to that. You are a great woman when you're in a relationship.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
But you also know that I'm also a great man in a relationship because we.
Oh, yes, you are. I know that. I witnessed that as well.
And again, I'm talking about for good men. I don't know. Look, I don't. I'm on y'all side on this. I promise you, I'm on y'all side because me and Eliza, we're gonna be doing another show on that, fuck boys and stuff like that, and holding them accountable and stop making good men like me look bad.
Well, I mean, you can't keep doing the same shit and expect different results.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
at this point, I'd be like, leave me alone, shit.
I hear, but what I'm saying is that and I understand, but you gotta start kind of like kind of looking at yourself a little bit as far as accountability of the men that you pick, and the same as far as me. As far as now, okay. Now, did I throw about my last relationship, Eliza? Did I throw her under the bus, or was I respectful?
You were very, very respectful.
Thank you. And did I take accountability?
Yeah. Well, yes, you did, because you sat there and explained to me what happened. Yeah.
Again, that's what grown-ups do.
Right. But even then, like you never know somebody. People live in double lives. I know I'm not gonna say who it is, but I know a married couple that have been married for 50-something years. The wife stays home, cooks dinner every night, but her man got a side chick, got a whole nother family. You know what I'm saying? But she old school, so she decides.
Girl, that's the milkman.
You know what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Am I gonna leave him? You know what I'm saying? No, because she's comfortable. You know, but at some point you have to want better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to want better. And she just found out about this baby, like 10 years ago, and still decided to stay. And so you never truly know somebody. I don't care how long you've been together. You never know somebody. And so you can sit up here and say, okay, you know, my bad for thinking that you were somebody else that you're not. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of accountability that you can take.
Yeah.
But that's why people decide to stay single, because it's like, who wants to keep dealing with the bullshit? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, at the end of the day, both parties bring risk to the table.
Hold on, let me say something real quick because I actually want to
we're
go back
both
to my
taking a
You,
risk.
in order to be in love, you have to be
Right.
vulnerable. You have to.
That's
You
true.
have to
I
let
agree.
your shoulder
Guys,
and your
guys,
I
guard
agree.
down.
guys, let me say
100%.
something
I
real
agree
quick.
with you. Go ahead, Eliza.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Eliza.
I'm sorry.
All right. I feel like I was in school. Okay, yay, my turn.
But this is a good conversation. This is a good conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I want to go ahead and touch on some other viewpoints. One of the main things I wanted to sit there and touch on was this. So this is actually why I sat there and I said, hold on. Okay. Initially, and this is kind of the part that I didn't get to say earlier. Initially, when you were talking about your parents, can I go ahead and throw this in there real quick? When you're talking about your parents, you also got to take in consideration the world was different. What I mean by that was, guess what? You didn't need both parties to work in order to sit there and be able to maintain your household. Back then, you also did not, it wasn't required for certain aspects. A woman could stay home. A woman could tend to the children. A woman could do it. And once again, like you said, if a woman chose to work, they could. But guess what? At the end of the day, that was extra finances. And a lot of times, I'm assuming, I'm making an assumption that actually went towards wealth instead of taking care of anything. Now, you are expecting tradition. Now, mind you, along with this tradition, you're expecting the same traditional values, but the whole world around has changed. Therefore, you can't sit there and have a single, well, I mean, okay, you can. With a lot of folks, it's a lot harder than it used to be. Whenever they have factories and all this other kind of stuff, and they was making good money.
but if you check the stats,
hold on, bro. At the end of the day, do you know how hard it is to sit there and find somebody that got a single family income? Not only that, but how hard is it to sit there and now get a home? It don't matter if it's in the hood or if it's in the Bahamas or we'll say Bel Air. Okay. How hard is it to sit there and off that single family household? How hard is it to obtain a home or to build a house from the fucking sticks, for that matter?
I don't know. I can't say that it is hard because I bought a house at 29 being a single parent. You know what I'm saying? And so where there's a will, there's a way. You know what I'm saying? Where there's a will, there's a way. It might be hard, but it's not impossible. You know what I'm saying?
And once again, I never said it was impossible. I just said the likelihood of it being done now, to the extent that it was done back then, it was done a lot more common. It was I'm not going to say a bit easier, but it was a lot more known because a lot more people were able to have access to what was needed. Now, we do not have access to a lot of these things. Now, we have the schools that are not teaching properly. Now, we have our entire country, not the entire country. We'll sit there and say a large percentage of the world's populace that are constantly overstimulated by looking at shit that gives you an attention span of max 3 minutes. This is in commercials, TV shows, everything else that literally is this, to where you can't even sit there and find your own peace to be able to sit there and try to come up with a game plan unless you really, really want it. Let's be clear. Some of us are majorly ambitious. Unless you really want it, right? But on average, how hard is it for somebody to sit there and do that? To sit there,
I won't even say we don't have access because Google is at your fingertips. Just how K-Dot be over here finding all these damn stats.
Well, yes,
you can do anything you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a lack of resources and a lack of education, but I'm not going to say that we don't have access to it because we do have access to it. But again, that goes into your upbringing. I was raised on a computer. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not. Hold on. I'm not saying access. I'm saying likelihood. And the reason I keep saying likelihood is because the type of lifestyle that he wants is the type that his parents had. What they had, there were other variables at play to allow his parents to have the type of lifestyle that they had. Those variables are not here in the same amount of abundance that they were at one point in time. So it's going to be a little more difficult. Not saying it's impossible, not saying there's not accessibility to it. I will say it will be more difficult. harder. You might have to be a bit more creative in order to sit there and to be able to attain these type of goals. And so
Well,
my only thing is, you know, for somebody to want that same type of lifestyle, me personally, I'm kind of thinking that some of that stuff you're gonna have to roll with the punches with, just like the whole, you know, your son is with you, right? Well, okay, sorry, I know your son is with you, but you know what? Whenever you go to work, sorry,
okay. Well,
let me
okay. So let's
let me
go
present
back.
myself.
Let's go back a little bit, right? Um, the night. Let's go back to the excuse me, 1950s and beyond. You know, when black families were actually together, they were more together, right? We were segregated, and we didn't have as much rights. But did we build more? Did we have generational wealth? Absolutely.
We also had
1921. As
communications that we
far
don't have. We
as
had
far
communities.
is what I'm saying is that were they allowed to back then? Were they able to pass more stuff back on to their children? Absolutely, because we had the 1921 uh, Oklahoma massacre that happened, which fucked a lot of our shit up because we had our own police force, we had our own doctors, we had our own bus stations, we had everything. We didn't need
Our own things, our own gun. Yeah, we
we
had
didn't
everything.
we didn't need white people for anything. But then you get to the 1960s where the feminist movement was adopted to the black females, and in the 1970s where the welfare also happened, to where that the black man could not be in the home, or
Right,
any
and then
man
that's another
really,
aspect
but
of that we
anybody on
also have that we're
welfare.
dealing with now.
You were
Yeah,
not allowed to have a man in the home. And so who became big daddy? Uh who became daddy? It was the government. And so I'll give you an example.
uh,
My
but see,
my
you're kind of
friend.
saying you're just saying the same thing that I was trying to say. So I mean, like with your whole ideology, which once again, I'm not going to say I agree or disagree with. I mean, a lot of it I do agree with, but some of it I don't. But with your ideology, with all of these things that are also in play, because obviously the government has sat there and saw how powerful it was to sit there and have families together. Now it's not really so much a BIPOC community, but honestly, it's every community. Because now when it comes to that, it's not so much about your color; it's more so about your financial status. Okay, and
Are you talking about classism? Is that what you're talking about?
yes, yes, that's another way we can sit there and use yes, classism.
Okay.
So now, whenever it comes to that,
But we
once
still
again,
have redlining.
right, but you know,
We still have.
what I'm saying is from the time that your parents were getting together, finding commonalities, finding common goals, and being able to fall in love under the sanctity of their struggle, whatever it is they were going through, but still being able to find love and commonality in whatever was going on at that time. The government, I'm not blaming it all on the government because it's not all the government, but they do have some accountability to be placed in here. They purposely sat there and put a whole lot of things in stake to sit there and try to keep your dynamic of what you want in a perfect partner separated and to making it a lot more difficult. Earlier, we were sitting here and talking about the masculine women and how, you know, how it was going to be difficult for them and whatnot. My thing is this. So we already sat there and talked about how we got big daddy government, or we're gonna sit there and call it sugar daddy government. Okay, sitting here giving checks. Come on in, darling. Sorry, here you go. If my about to say, damn, there you go. Sorry, we got sugar daddy government. We also have other things that were sit there and put in place so that we had a whole lot of little girls in there talking about I ain't had no daddy around when I was growing up. It's a whole song, but
Oh, there you go.
you know, as well as now, they sat there and made it to the minimum wage, which used to be a living wage. You could still sit there and get a house off of, you could sit there and buy land off of, and all these other things. Now you're doing good if you could sit there and manage to stay in your car, okay, off a fucking minimum wage. I mean, there's a whole lot of different aspects that are now playing into that. And then, and no disrespect to you, because once again, your ideology is yours. Okay. I don't want you to change it for shit, but I will sit there and challenge it and sit there and saying, you're not really wanting a woman of this time, and you know it's not our fault. And but you know we're trying the best we can, because right now, to be honest, all we doing is winging it.
Okay, so you're talking about a modernized woman, right?
Yes,
right?
Whenever I'm talking
Okay,
about this,
so
I'm talking
okay,
about
so
a woman that can be seen as modernized.
Okay, well, all right. Well, let's be fair. We're talking about equality,
like
right? We talking about equality, right?
No, we're not.
Then I'll go ahead. No, because you said modernized woman.
I said somewhat. I'm talking about women like Jasmine. Once again, like Jasmine just sat there and said not too long ago, she is a strong, independent woman. Okay, but when she needs to be, she ain't got a problem falling back. We know our role. That's what I was sitting there saying earlier. Every woman has femininity as well as masculinity in her, regardless of whether you get to be the one that's lucky enough to see either side, regardless of whether you don't like it or you do like it. At the end of the day, every woman has that ability, because that is a survival skill for us.
Okay.
And whenever it comes to something like this, you're sitting here and trying to call her a modernized woman, but I don't think she's a modernized woman at all. When she finds that man that has the things that she needs, okay. Everybody.
Okay, so what do you call her? What do you? I'm asking. What do you call her? Because this is modernized times. So what do you call her?
Sir, come on now. I'm respectful.
I'm just asking. I just want to get what I'm at.
Honestly,
yes,
I don't know what I would call her, but I wouldn't call her a modernized woman. If you want to sit there and talk about a modernized woman, that's a modernized woman in my mind is a woman that it doesn't matter whether she got a good man or not. Can
I add something there?
Yes.
We're gonna call her a woman with standards.
There you go.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, but didn't a traditional woman have standards as well?
Not all the time.
I would say I would disagree on that, because they also demanded marriage.
They demanded marriage, but they were also willing to compromise in certain situations and turn a blind eye to things that the man was doing. Keep in mind, a lot of times with the traditional woman, the man was fucking women along the back line of the fence. But what did she do? She sat there and stayed at home, and she cooked that meal and made sure it was there when he left the side bitch's house. Now, a woman with standards ain't gonna deal with that shit. It's either you give up all that shit and you change your life, or you here.
Well, okay. So which is also called. Okay.
Hold on, Kata. I just want to piggyback real quick. Not only that, but you know, the traditional woman was also the woman that was sitting here and getting beat on. The traditional woman was also the woman that was sitting there and dealing with their husband coming home from work, getting drunk, being raged out, and sitting there and trying to be in between them and kids and everything else. These are parts that nobody wants to admit, but these are
what facts do you have on that? I'm not saying that didn't happen, but I'm talking about majority of. So you're saying majority of traditional women get beat on? I don't agree with that. What is
older women just have casual chats about their marriage, their past relationships, all of that. Most of them will eventually start telling the things that they've dealt with over the time. And most of the time, if you ask them for the recipe of marriage, they will most likely say, when things go bad, you stick there. That's what all women always say. When things went bad in my marriage, I sat there and I had faith in my marriage.
Okay, and I what I'm saying is that where are the facts? That
you're giving me woman tells you that she had trauma in her marriage.
You gotta come with Wikipedia facts when you're talking to K-Dot.
Where's the facts? If we're,
we just have to redo this live share. We don't have to ask women off the street, because we ain't gonna be able to tell them nothing without facts.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that does. I never said that didn't happen. But when I'm saying that, as far as the majority, I don't agree with that.
You never really talk to any of your grandparents or grandparents.
Because here's the thing: because if so, you're expecting me to get into it. You're expecting traditional values from me, but I'm supposed to take your values of modernization. Absolutely not. So when I take you out on a date, you go ahead and I would like to have my door open, and then I would also like to have my seat pulled out so I can sit down. Is that fair? Is that because I'm giving you modern?
I think it has to do with how you're raised and your upbringing.
Hold on, darling. You're sitting here and talking about you want a traditional marriage, but you also got to understand traditional marriage, they compromise. You were sitting here and talking about you want certain, and you're not willing to compromise. So
I never said I wasn't willing to compromise. I never said that. I never said I was never.
Okay,
That's a
sorry. I
lie.
don't want to put words in your mouth.
That is. I never said I was willing to compromise because
I will take accountability for that. I may have misunderstood and put words in your mouth, and if that is the case, that
K-Dot is very
that
compromising.
last statement.
I do compromise. I mean, you can't, because here's the thing. I know that I can't have it all. Women need to understand that they can't have it all either. And there's a thing called choices and trade-offs.
Okay, but
and that is compromise.
The first thing you want to do is compete with another woman. You want to sit there and try.
No, I don't want to. No, why would I want to compete with a woman? That doesn't make any sense. I never said that either.
Sir, you literally just sat there and said, "I know I can't have it all, but she can't have it all either." Why was that even needed to be stated? At the end of the day, you're only talking about you.
Okay,
honestly, what's wrong with you? You can't sit there and tell somebody else what they can do or what they cannot have if it's not involved with you. So
can I clarify? Can I clarify? Okay. I'm not trying to compete. That's crazy. Why would I compete with a woman? That doesn't make any sense.
Believe it or not, a lot of men do compete with women, especially strong, independent women. They look at that as, oh, like I can't tell you how many guys have came.
I'm not
like,
I
hope I make more money than you one day. Like, what the fuck?
No. What I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that I never stated that I wanted to compete with a woman. What I stated is there's choices and trade-offs. I can't have it all, and she can't have it all. No one can have it all. You have to be able to compromise. You have to make a deal. You have to come to the table and make a deal. That's what I'm saying. And so I'm sorry, but actually that is incorrect. I did not say that. I don't want to. I want to be very clear. I do not want to compete with a woman. That is a waste of. Why would I? That don't even make sense.
Kata,
yes, ma'am.
Okay, I might have sat there and tried to explain that wrong because that's not what I meant. What I meant was, honestly, after listening so long, the fact that after you've made a statement about yourself, you instantly wanted to project and sit there and say something about a woman. And honestly, that's what it was, regardless of whether you like it or not, darling. Literally, whenever we are sitting there and talking about anything, especially when it comes to relationships, we are supposed to be able to try to focus on us and our partnership as far as what we got going on. So you might be able to say, though, you don't think the woman that's in your life can have it all, but at the end of the day, that's kind of not your place.
So are you saying that everybody can have it all
in her mind? She can sit there and have whatever it is she
in her mind. I'm talking about outcomes.
But to me, if you find a woman that has it all, you should make that woman your wife, right? That has everything that you're looking for in a woman.
In the relationship, yeah, I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about generalization. No one can have it all. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just
what is all? Honest. All to who?
Thank you. Huh? That's kind of what I was going with.
I'm talking about in general. Okay, for instance, if you get I don't know.
People Today news, you are so.
If I get a woman that's cooking and cleaning and stuff like that, and then I'm not doing shit, I'm not doing my part. That makes no sense. She's not having it all. Not only that, I'm not having it all because at the end of the day, I'm not doing my goddamn responsibilities. If she's the CEO and I'm a stay-at-home father or whatever, how is that happening? Because aren't we switching roles? Now I'm in a more of a feminine role, and she's in the more of a masculinity role.
A feminine role back in the 1900s. This is 2022 now. You know what I'm saying?
It's strange. Some women, they want that type of thing because might not be something that's made for them. Right. Maybe they have a skill set that they feel like they need to bring that to the world, but they need that support at home because they still want a family. Who else is going to raise your kids better than your spouse? No matter how you...
Okay, and then also some men also like dominatrix, but that's also rare as well.
Something for everybody. That's the main thing that you got to look at. There is literally something for everybody. Not everybody thinks the same. We're in a whole new era.
But we're talking about a generalization. We're talking about a generalization.
I wanted to bring up something real quick. I keep hearing the government. We blaming the government this, the government that. Okay. So again, I just want to throw something out there. Okay. the government did mess up households, okay? But at what point do we take accountability and say, I'm not going to be raised on welfare.
I
I'm
agree.
not going to be a
That's the
statistic.
I
accountability
You
agree
know
I
what
with
I'm
you.
saying?
Exactly.
At
Yes,
what
baby.
point do we say, fuck food stamps? You know what I'm saying? Fuck child
Exactly.
support. Like, when do we say, okay, I'm going to be better than that? Now, again, that has to do with your upbringing. I have family members that are on Section 8. And do you know that if you have if you are on Section 8 and you have a child, your child automatically gets Section 8? You know what I'm saying? And then if they have a child who that child has a child, they automatically get Section 8. You know what I'm saying? It's conditioning, but they're also accepting that.
Right.
Why don't
I
you
agree.
want better for yourself?
But that's
You know what I'm
the thing.
saying?
We're passing down Section 8 instead of passing down generational wealth. And that's the
Right.
conversation that we need to have.
Again, that has to do with your upbringing
I
and how
agree.
you're raised. You know what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
Just like
100%.
the whole thought of marriage has to do with your upbringing and how you're raised. And honestly, I could say not 100% it has to do with that, because I know men that were raised in 2-parent households. Parents are still together, but they beat women. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I know men that are raised with both parents still together, but they out here sleeping with 10 different women at a time. You know what I'm
I
saying? And
agree.
so again, we have all these statistics, we have all this data and stuff, but at the end of the day, it has to do with the individual and what they thinking and what comes to their mind. You know what I'm saying?
get,
Because we're all different. We all have our own thought process, and what's for you may not be for the next person. You know what I'm saying? So
Not
Okay.
only that, can I piggyback off you, Jasmine? Not only
go
that, but
ahead, please.
I know a lot of matter of fact, my best friend, I know a lot of people right now that literally grew up in 2-parent households where the parents were married, and they're the same ones that sit there and say, I'll never get married. I'll never get married. You know, and it wasn't because they saw that people struggling. It wasn't that. It's just they decide that they are a different person. And once again, there's many variables that play at this. Everything you could possibly think of. But guess what? If they decide that they don't want to get married, or better yet, if they decide that they want to be single, does that actually make them bad? Does that make them negative?
No. I'm talking about.
So, you know,
Absolutely not.
I feel the same way about what you would consider a modernized woman, what one would consider a modernized man, what some would consider traditional women, traditional men. Because once again, I know a whole lot of girls that don't know how to cook and men that do, but I also know a whole lot of men that can't cook and women that do. And honestly, even the women that'll sit there and clean their house and take care of home and sit there and cook some food, sit there and ask them what they, ask them more about their life. The first thing you would do is sit there and consider them a modernized woman, but they sitting there and doing everything a traditional woman can do too. You see what I'm saying? Like there's it's just like right now, K-Dot, it seems like I'm trying to find a way to put this.
What does Road Dogg have to say? He's been real quiet.
He usually is.
I'm over here looking up the statistics that you guys are talking about, double checking everything, and actually, I'm finding that the most domestic violence happened in the mid 70s. Before that, it was really hard to tell because it was very hush hush.
Mm-hmm.
You don't tell on your husband kind of thing. So it's hard to tell, but in the 70s is when the tide turned.
Mm-hmm.
Now, during 2016 to 2018, it did rise 42%.
I think because I know there was a lot of domestic cases during the shutdown and COVID and all that. I know that rose. I think that had also a lot to do with it too.
Yeah, but this was 2016 to 18.
Man,
and you know what's sad? I know a lot of women.
They side hoes, they side.
I know. Look,
that's why they had to be at home with their actual spouses. So they was like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
A couple of women that I can attest that have told me, I feel like if a man don't put his hands on me, that he don't love me.
I hear that shit all the time.
I know Spanish women, like I have a lot of Spanish friends, a lot of Spanish family. their man beat the shit out of them and they
Mhm.
don't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? They take
My
that's
sister-in-law
part of
is
their
Colombian,
culture.
and
You know what
she
I'm
said
saying?
She said that
I
exact
agree.
thing about my brother. If he don't sit there and put his hands on me, if he don't choke me, if he don't sit there and punch me, he don't love me.
Which is ridiculous. You
And
gotta
that
know
think
your
it's
worth.
ridiculous, but then again,
Yeah,
that ain't
right.
my
And
pussy.
that's and
That
that's
ain't what
why
Right.
and that's why I feel that you should date with intent. I don't think people should be out here dating with scarcity. You know what I'm saying? Just know that okay, I'm taking a risk. This person that I'm going on a date is obviously taking a risk. And my intent is to marry. It's not to see where it goes or I don't know. Let me see how the sex works. No, my objective is my intent, dating with intent, and having an
Mhm.
objective goal. And my objective
Courting.
goal is to have a wife. Period. It's not
But
to
see, that
waste
goes
that
back to
person's time, huh?
what I said earlier. If you remember right, I made the comment, you have to find the one that's perfect for you.
You correct.
I want the perfect spouse. Okay. She may not be perfect for you, but she's perfect for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's the important thing. Whether you like modernized, traditional,
Not that I feel like we're talking about house styles.
yeah, it really depends on
Traditionally modern.
what. Yeah, it's kind of like it goes back to that too. I mean, you stop and think about it. Yes, the wife is the one that normally decorates the home, but you have somebody like me that's very crafty and DIY.
I suck at that shit.
I can
I
actually
don't.
decorate. Okay, I'm a guy that can cook. I'm a guy. I'm not scared to
got
clean.
that too.
Y'all hear that, ladies? He willing to cook for you if you right.
But it's one of those things. It's not trying to find everything you're talking about, K-Dot. It may be you have to find that one that's perfect for you, because what's perfect for you is not perfect for me. What's perfect for me may not be perfect for Jasmine.
Right.
I
And
agree.
so on. So you have to find that one person that meshes with you, whether it's okay. You guys brought up abuse. You had said you got Spanish women that likes they feel they have to have their man beat them to feel loved. Okay, they're going to have to find a guy willing to do that. I'm not their guy. I'm not going to lay a hand on a woman. Okay, so I'm not that person. But I'm sure there's somebody out there willing to. There's
Right.
probably a lot of guys out there.
Yeah, because
Right.
I remember I got up during sex because someone she wanted me to choke her during sex. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm gonna get my clothes and get up on out of here.
During sex, I'm just
I
curious.
don't do that. Nope.
Not euphoria. I mean, just a
Look,
little.
I don't want no problem. Nope.
All
I
right,
don't want
ladies, if
I
y'all
don't want
having
that
sex
shit
with
on
me, y'all
me.
do this. Pretend y'all dead and see how this motherfucker
I'm just saying that was just like she was just like,
Be
yeah, I
real
want you to
still.
choke the shit out of me. I'm like, what? No, she said I want you to choke the shit out of me. Okay, it wasn't like no. She wanted me. Yeah, I'm
She was on
like,
some R. Kelly shit.
kind of shit.
That's a whole nother animal.
I made my phone ring. I think, look, oh, mom, you
I got
need me?
friends that are
Okay, let
into
me know.
BDSM. Any ladies that are out there like that, y'all just let me know. I got
And I'm
some.
not,
Hey.
if you like it,
I
I
don't
love
mind.
it.
I don't mind a little bit, but if you choking me where I can't breathe, I'm like,
Nah, I can't.
Hold on.
We in the era of Me Too. Fuck that.
I'm not gonna speak
Nope.
on that. I'm gonna hide my
Nope.
head in the
I'm
hole.
doing it. No, sir. No.
Hey,
No,
guys are like that too. I sent a guy this picture of my nails, and I was like, "You like my nails?" He
I'm
was
sure.
like, "Yes, they look better around my neck." I was like, "Oh,
I'm sure. There's a lot of
okay."
dudes. There's guys out there saying, "Kick me in my balls." Oh my god, like what the fuck?
Okay, hold on.
But again, like
we
Road
are not gonna
said,
bash
it's
and
not for
demonize
everybody.
BDSM or dominatrix. Okay,
Yeah,
there's some men that want to be spanked and paddled and treated like babies.
I said that.
If y'all out there, call me.
Fuck that. Stay away from me.
Hey,
I
I'm just saying, I provide services.
I remember my ex-wife wanted to bring a whipping. I'm like, fuck. I got caught flashbacks. Like, no, dude.
Whip it,
No,
baby.
I'm-
Just whip it
nah,
right.
Real good.
Just whip it, baby.
Mama, no,
All
no,
night.
no, Mama, no.
All night.
Stop. What? It's not
Let
a
it
turn
well.
on. Shit, I'm
Hey.
fucked up. This everything stop, please. Like, you ain't bring no goddamn whip in the bedroom. Fuck is wrong with you? I mean, now you know, I don't, you know,
Handcuffs.
Now,
no.
I got a story like that. He was with this
Same
one chick, and I guess,
handcuffs. Who said
hold on,
that?
I guess she
Ludacris.
wanted him
I
to
mean,
shit
handcuffs
on
is
her.
cool, you know, but you know, the whip
And I'm
thing,
sitting
like,
here like, bruh. I guess the girl wanted him to shit on her.
oh,
Baby, you got a whole lot of trauma. Fuck shitting on you. I'm gonna take your ass to the therapist tomorrow. That's the date we gonna have.
Right.
'Cause, baby, you got
right.
some shit you
That's yeah. Hey,
And you know, people out there for there's millions of people in this world.
Right.
And
Once
when you
again-
find somebody that's into what you into, you know, that's that person, I guess.
no, you ain't shitting on me, okay? I don't give a
mean-
fuck.
Exactly.
Hold on. All pun intended.
No.
You ain't shitting on me.
No means no.
And you ain't gonna piss on me either. We ain't gonna
Right.
have
Ain't no golden showers over in this motherfucker. Hell no.
Right. I mean, look,
She
look,
better ask
I'm
me
not
about it.
knocking those people who honestly like that shit. If that's you, then by all means go ahead and do your
That
thing.
is,
But
I don't get
just
that.
understand,
I don't understand.
before we
I
talk,
don't.
I'm gonna need you to take a whole ass shower that's not golden, that's using some soap.
Right.
And then, you know, whenever we are engaging in conversation, if I happen to say something sexual, knowing
That
my
part.
mouth, it will come out. I guarantee.
That part.
Please do not sit there and tell me those kind of stories, because, bitch, I know I do not reserve the right, but you're going to get a whole nigga what? Okay? And if you get it, please do not be alarmed, but understand that your calls might go on silent for the next few days.
Oh Lord, that is just, yeah. We gonna pray.
All right. I'm about to let y'all go. I'm done.
Give
with
it to
y'all
Jesus
today.
at that particular
I'm done
point.
with y'all.
Uh-uh.
I'm done for the night.
But it was a good conversation, though. That's for sure. That, you know.
I'm gonna give my final thoughts. Can I give my final thoughts?
Yes,
like,
ma'am, you
who
sure
used to give
can.
final
Please
thoughts?
give your
Jerry
final
Springer, Maury, Jerry
Yes,
Springer.
Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer.
So, why don't women want to get married? I would say that a lot of women don't want to get married because of, I don't know, the responsibility of having to play both roles, that a lot of men aren't raised to be husbands. So we don't want to get in, like, it's like start being in a dead end job. You know what I'm saying? Like, just how you said insurance. Like, for me personally, I was married. I got divorced, you know. My ex-husband was cheating, had a whole nother girlfriend that he had moved in with, but didn't want to sign the divorce papers. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Didn't want to sign the divorce papers. So, now going forward, my future husband, if I do ever get married again, I need to make sure that, I think somebody in the comments said, you could love anybody, but you can't trust anybody. Trust is huge for me. And I feel like if I am going to get married, I need to be with a man of God. Okay. Because, ever so often, a lot of men, they don't have a relationship with the Lord, and not everybody believes in God. However, let me give you an example. This guy was dating me, and him was going through a hard time. He called his ex-girlfriend up and told her all of our business. And I'm like, why would you do something like that? You know what I'm saying? Because now I can't trust you. He said, well, I didn't have nobody to talk to. Talk to God. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me,
Write it
you
down.
know? And
Get a
so,
notebook.
right. And so it was at that moment I knew he wasn't the man for me, because you're weak. You're weak. Any chance you got, you was gonna run back to the ex. You know what I'm saying? And so again, for me, if I am gonna get married, I'm looking for somebody that completes me wholly, you know, that lets me put my guard down. You know what I'm saying? Because I am a very strong, independent woman. I got my shit together. So I need the man that's gonna be for me. He needs to have his shit together. He needs to be a strong man. no strong man can be intimidated by a strong woman. You know what I'm saying? So I need somebody that's equally yoked. Okay. And I have no problem being married. But again, there's millions of people in this world. I don't want to date millions of people to find the one. So
Okay.
that's all I can say about that. That's all I can say about that. I'm gonna take my baby. We can do it. Take our time. Do it right. Okay. And on that note, I'm gonna have a good night.
Bye,
Jazz. Yes, I'm gonna have a good night with my warm blanket, Kevin.
Hey, enjoy that warm blanket. You got it.
Keeps me warm at night. Okay. Okay, well, bye, y'all. I'm gonna see y'all.
I love you, Jazz.
Love y'all too. Everybody add me, Jasmine Sade.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, add her. Add her.
You get a chance. Did you go ahead and link your information up there at the top?
I don't know how to do that.
Next time you come, I'm gonna need you to do that as soon as you get in, so the entire show.
Well, y'all got to show me, because this was a test run, okay? But y'all got to show me. You gotta show me. Show me, girl.
You're gonna be on
me
next time, boo. And then whenever you are, before we even started, I got you. We'll sit there and walk you through.
Okay, well, y'all have a good night. Have fun.
All right.
So much. Thank you
Take
so much
care.
for joining us.
All right, bye, y'all.
Bye.
I'm
gonna go ahead and give my viewpoints real quick. Why I think women don't want to marry.
Yes, ma'am.
And understand this coming from a married woman.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, a lot of women, whenever they hear marriage, they automatically hear somebody else trying to tell them to submit. We have been working so hard to sit there and get to a place where we love ourselves and we actually have some power. And yes, it does have to do with power. A lot of women aren't willing to give that up because a lot of them sit there and feel like that's giving up their love for themselves. That's giving up their power to supposedly, especially if they're trying to be traditional, sit there and try to put all into a man when there is no guarantee that a man will actually have the appropriate skills or the proper skill set to be able to put back into them. It's a very, very, very big gamble. And we can say that we're we're speaking for a certain type of man, but at the end of the day, those are not the only type of men that these women get. A lot of women have sat there and had past relationships where they have been tremendously scorned. And this is not where I'm sitting there saying where blame is put or where accountability needs to be had. Because even assuming all that was still done, that doesn't take the pain away. That doesn't heal. That's not a glue that sits there and puts all them little cracks back together. And whenever you're taking the time to sit there and heal yourself, get your peace, or even if you haven't taken that time to sit there and do that, it is scary with the potential to go back into another relationship where potentially the same thing might happen again. It's scary. And I'm assuming, okay, that I'm gonna ask you, and then I'm probably gonna ask Road Dog, and then Mr. Something Marcel, because I definitely want his. I might ask him first, but I'm pretty sure whenever men, are dealing with past relationships, and men, or especially whenever it comes to men that have been married, and then we're sitting here and asking them to marry again, I'm pretty sure the same thing is going on in their mind as well. It is scary. It didn't work out for us, and if it was just a matter of it didn't work out, kind of like a breakup, that wouldn't mean so much. But a marriage is when that person picked you and you chose them, and it was supposed to be forever. It was supposed to be a commitment made either to you, under God, however it is you want to do your marriage ceremony, binding, whatever. That is a life commitment. And a lot of people don't know how to separate. A lot of women identify themselves and what they have to give as the wholeness, and a lot of times they don't know how to put back in them, and then the other partners don't know how to put back in them. And so honestly, it's scary. They feel like they're going to lose themselves. So I think that's why a lot of women don't want to get married. I think that's why they would rather be in relationships for 17, 18, 20 years without ever having to get married, because they want that freedom to be able to walk away if they ever need to. Or they want to be single because at the end of the day, it's safer to deal with me by myself. That means I'm 100% accountable for everything that happens to me. Well, everything that I do, let me say that, without having to be around somebody that we want to love us, but that is hurting us, and we're trying to rationalize why that is. So, Mr. Simply Marcel.
Ooh. You know, you brought back some memories. I had to think back.
I'm sorry.
Nah, you good. But you know that I've been married before. It took what? Actually, you was there when I got divorced.
I was.
Yeah, it went from 2016 to 2019 to settle that divorce. It was horrible. I walked away from everything. I pretty much just raised my hands and said, you know what, everything we're fighting for, I really don't care. I can get it back. The biggest thing for me is that even with that, you know how my life is right now. And it's flip side on the other side. So I will say that a lot of times it's because of trauma that people don't want to get married. And this is men and women. A lot of time it's experience. And the thing is now, and I'm speaking on the younger side of everything, the newer generation, the newer way of thinking, people get married for social media. People don't get married for the true meaning. People don't get married for longevity. People get married because of financial stability. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. The average one bedroom is $1,600, and that's not even in the best area. A two bedrooms average start at $2,000. You have to make 3 times that income just to stay in the property. A lot of these people don't make that on their own. So what is the first thing that they can think of? Get up under somebody, go get married to somebody, whatever, so that way I can survive. And it's sad that that's the way that society thinks nowadays, but that's the truth. That's why I said a lot of people don't understand that women are set up to be appreciating assets, meaning that the court systems and all that are made to be biased towards women because they understand you might not have that work ethic because you're carrying a child for, 9 months and you got to take time away from work, or you might put yourself aside to be in that marriage or that relationship. That's why I say that, because you don't hear many times where men have to take their goals and their dreams, because most of the time we don't have to sit there for 9 months and go through these things, and we can go to work during that process, and we are not taking time pretty much away from the clock. We can move around, we can do what we need to do, but just the trauma from all that on both sides, because you got to deal with her, you got to deal with work, you got to deal with all this other stuff. Some people were raised and taught how to cheat well. Let's be real. Both of my grandfathers, dad's father had his own thing going on. He got multiple children by multiple women. We already know the story on that. Same thing with my, mother's father. I was raised to know how to, before I knew, besides, my dad teaching me how to be a good dude, because my dad and my mom have been married since before I was born. They're still married. I learned from that. But at the same time, I learned both sides. So I've been at my grandfather's house when he's messing with the church women. And I'm figuring it out, not being a child, not even understanding why they're at his house. We go to church and he's having lunch with one and he's having a whole snack in between dinner. Like, that's what we're raised to see sometimes. We just don't acknowledge it and we don't know it until we're adults. But we don't realize which side we're living on. So until people get rid of that trauma and go over and realize those barriers, then you're not going to want to be there. But at the same time, with all this stuff changing, everything's more accessible. We got social media. Whatever you need, you can go get it online. Whatever you need, you can go to Quick Trip. Whatever you need, you can go to the club. Most of the time people say, oh, well, these women at the club, they don't want to do. Most of the time these women are going to the club because they don't know where else to go.
I never thought about it like that.
If I can't go to Bella Noche, where the hell can I go? Like, let's be real about it. You go, you look on Tinder, it's sexualized. You go on Facebook, Instagram, it's sexualized. You go on Twitter, it's sexualized. So where can you go to people who ain't looking at you for sex? Really nowhere. But you learn to compromise and be like, that's what it is. But those same people that want sex, you end up cuffing them And then you switch up and now you don't want to be sexual. You don't want to be that same person. You don't want to be on the same tip that y'all met off of. That's where that cheating and all that comes in. But at the same time, this goes on both sides. You can't meet somebody on one tip and then all of a sudden try to change it. They're just like they say, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Yes, the hell you can. It's just that you need to understand how to compromise and match her wholeness to where she ain't got to go nowhere else.
There it is. I like that. There it is right there.
Okay.
And I already see K-Dot looking like, what? But for real, if she used to get fucked every fucking night, how the hell she gonna go somewhere and get fucked when you fucking her all fucking day?
Okay. Real shit.
What reason she got to go out and go get some dick somewhere else when you giving her the best dick she ever had? What's the point in shopping around for dick when you know you already got the best that's ever been on your menu?
I mean, men care about body count. I'm just saying. We I'm just saying men care about that.
It's 2022. We talking about a whole different thing. These women out here doing whatever the hell they want to do, but at the same time, you saying that you want a wholesome woman, but what if that wholesome woman has a past? But that does not dictate her future. You could have fucked the whole football team. That's 20 bodies right there. But you gonna say that 20 bodies equates to 20 bodies over the course of 10 years? Or are you saying that if it's 20 bodies, it's 20 bodies either way? You got to think of it like that. When did these events happen and what is she doing now versus what she was doing back then? That's the same way we can look at men the same way. We can go out here and fuck at the club and fuck 3-4 bitches that night or whatever the hell we're doing. That equates to a body count and calculate that up to how many times you're doing that a year.
Right.
But at the same time, a woman could equally say, oh, well, shit, he been slanging dick for years. All my homegirls, and if I go to the club or if I go to the restaurant, these bitches done had that dick, so I don't feel like I want it. It's the same thing with women, but eventually you have to be an adult and be like, you know what? Are you willing to stop what the hell you've been doing for years and let's move forward? Because people can't always be able to come up to your table and say, oh, yeah, I had your ex or I had the person that you with. But at the same time, you could turn around and say, well, shit, good luck trying to get it now.
Exactly.
That's the mindset you got to have. And like, let's be real. It's 2022. Shit is different. Shit is hella different. And just like I said, I live in Atlanta. Hell, all these women got high ass body counts. Like, let's be real. They go to the fucking club. They fucking and doing this. Same thing with men. The ratio of men and women and all that is off. Way the fuck off. But you got to have a strong mindset to be able to survive and to be able to have a relationship.
I didn't take no lies, K-Dot. None at all.
I haven't I've seen nothing but facts. I'm just saying.
But also on the same tip, and I'm gonna speak on a different standpoint. A lot of these women don't want to get married because they're afraid of things that honestly they should accept. Let's be real. A lot of men are bisexual at the same time. I'm one of them. But they want to get a train ran on them. But you don't realize you want threesomes and all that shit when your dude can give you that same thing. You just need to be more accepting of what he likes and what you like. It's no fucking different. It's still two men in the same damn room with a woman. So it's a whole thing where people just need to understand that shit has changed over the years. And they've been having that same damn situation in the 80s, in the 70s, in the 60s. It's just people was not talking about it.
Yep, it was in a closet and it was hush-hush.
But now everything's out in the open, so you need to adapt to that. You can't always have the mindset of the 60s, 70s, 80s. You need to have the mindset of today.
Who says that?
Who says what? That you can't have the mindset of the 60s, 70s,
I'm not
80s?
saying that you can't. Who says that I have to have the mindset?
I'm not saying that you have to. I said that you should.
You just said I have to. You just said I have to. I just heard.
Well, hold on. I'm a little tipsy right now. But you might have said you have to, but at the same time, you have to acknowledge it at the same time. I'm not saying you have to accept it, but you need to understand that that's the way that things are shifting. Now, you can continue to have that, and you can continue to say, oh, I want to be married or I want to be in a relationship, and I don't know why I'm single. And most of the time, it's because you haven't opened up your eyes to things are different. But you have to find somebody that equally feels the same way that you do, or you need to make those adjustments to be like, you know what, just like you said, the 20 bodies or the women got bodies, this, and that. Everybody got bodies. When's the last time you really heard of a woman say that she was a 40-year-old virgin? I don't see.
I've heard a man saying that. I haven't heard a woman saying that.
Yeah, you don't hear it as often no more.
It's very rare.
Yeah, but I'm saying back then, yes, you ran into that. Now you don't. You'd be lucky to hear 18.
Very true.
But things change, so you need to once again acknowledge the change and to say, you know, what am I willing to compromise on? What am I willing to deal with in order to get my end result?
Well, and that's what I said. That you can't have it all, right? There's choices and trade-offs, and that's what I was bring my point up right there. No one person can have it all, especially in a whole generalization. Nobody can have it all.
But that's where you also got to run off those statistics, because the average statistic is not going to be by somebody. Well, the answer is not going to be for someone that's willing to tell the truth. That's just like if you come out here and you ask how many men do you eat ass, how many are going to openly say hell yeah?
Nowadays.
Oh, I don't eat no pussy, but then they go home the same night and that's what they have for dinner.
No, I hear you.
You can't think that all this data is accurate, especially when you're talking about the African American community, because half of the African American community lie even about their credit score.
Mine's getting better.
But you know me firsthand. You know how I am with credit score. You know my line of business. You know what I do for a living.
Yes.
So I experienced that firsthand. But that's why I'm saying people that will take these surveys will not answer it correctly. People say, oh, I make $100,000 a year, and you run and look at their W-2s or their tax returns, and it say 32.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so it's not about what it's not about what you know, it's what you can prove. And those the statistics, that's just what it is. And,
but you're talking about surveys that are kind of open that don't require proof. You get what I'm saying?
I would absolutely. This is what I'm talking about. I concentrate on outcomes. Outcomes. Yeah. The modernization right now you're saying it's not like it was back in the older days. I totally agree with you. But does it work? Absolutely fucking not. Are families staying together? Absolutely fucking not.
Depends on where you're looking.
No. I'm talking about let's stay with the black family. Is it working? Absolutely not.
In certain households, yes, it does. It depends on where you're looking.
I'm talking about the black the black what's that word?
Of what demographic are you talking about? What areas are we referring to?
I'm talking about
generalization. Overall.
If you compare not even 1960, because that's when the black feminist movement started. Right after I think it was either during the Black Panther movement or a little bit after. But I'm talking about if you compare the 1950s to now, the structural of a black family, it is totally opposite of that. And the thing is, the black family had more hardships, had more things against them, had more depression, had more things they didn't talk about, and didn't talk about mental health, and had less resources to do so. But at the end of the day, all we had was each other, and so we had to stay. We knew how important it was. We knew on the block that if on that particular neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, we didn't let a kid go hungry. You know what I'm saying? It used to be neighbors that that used to probably have block parties all the time. My pops used to talk about it all the time. We used to play cards and all that in the neighborhood. Everybody knew each other. It was a lot. It was community policing. You know what I'm saying? Back in them days, they knew your dad, they knew your grandfather, and all those particular type of things. Now everything is so separated, and even though we were segregated against white people back in those particular days, but we were more tight and more knit as a family dynamic, and we knew what the goal was, and that was to solidify the power of the black family. So
I was gonna say that because even though they did have, I'm not gonna say they had more hardships. I would say they had different type of hardships, but also in response to that, they also had a lot of other things that were going for them. And you actually pinpointed out quite a few. And now it seems like, yes, we have different hardships, but we might not have as much going for us because, that was a perfect example. Back in the day, once again, that's the generation that I come from is, it takes a village to raise a child. Shit, we knew all of our neighbors. We knew all the neighbors. We knew their kids. We could actually trust some of the adults whenever we were walking home that didn't have kids. But guess what? They would have popsicles. They would have snacks. They would have sandwiches and all this other kind of stuff.
I agree.
You know,
100%.
I mean,
nowadays, like you go in your apartment, I live in an apartment. We don't talk to each other. We mind our business.
Exactly.
You can't discipline my child. The hell is you?
Mhm.
You know, the trust has been out, and all those type of things. It's just we are not talking to each other. We are controlled by algorithms and fucking computers, and shit. Eventually, they're gonna take writing away, where people can't even sign their own name. These kids, everything is technology. They don't have
It's electronic now, yeah.
right, and that's why
they already started doing that because I've been teaching people how to write in cursive, and it don't make no sense.
That's why I tell my son, hey, you're not gonna be in your room all day. Sorry, playing video games and all that time. No, you're gonna get out. You're not gonna be socially awkward. You're gonna learn teamwork. That means being on a team. I don't give a damn if you got to be on the chess team. I don't care, or a debate team. It doesn't matter. Like you're gonna get out and do something. You're gonna breathe fresh air. And a lot of these kids not even getting the proper fresh air. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, that's really how you get rid of colds is when they told us you got to be outside. And playing the dirt to be immune to the cold. But that's what I'm saying. I just want people. I want people together. We were not designed to be alone. We were not made to be alone. We were made to be with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's how we were made. And even though I know Jazz was, kind of a little negative Nancy on marriage, I don't date with scarcity. I date with intent. I date with transparency, and I'm upfront about who I am, so that it's not like when we're already together, they're like, oh, well, this wasn't you. This is not who you presented yourself to me as. And that's why I think it's imperative that we're honest with each other and have those tough conversations like we are right now. But at the end of the day, I feel like we're all learning from each other. And I do believe some of your words are absolutely valid. And
I think he'll be popping back in. I think he just
yeah.
I think his internet was acting funny. But yeah, I mean I agree 100%.
And I will have to say, I think it was the first time I ever saw KDOT actually mind turning like 1,000,000 miles an hour when Marcel was talking. I saw those wheels turning, and I can hear the rust get knocked off those gears. he was hitting some good points, and it was making you stop and think about what you're saying or how you're saying it.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, I thought it was an awesome thing to see because I actually saw your mind going, he's got a good point there.
Yeah, I think it's important that we do learn from each other because, I don't know it all. I don't know it all. I'll be quick to tell you I don't know it all. But if I want to learn something, you should. Just because I don't know it doesn't mean that I don't have the responsibility to go find out what that information. That's all I'm saying.
That's 100% correct. And that's that. Honestly, I think that is one of the important things is everybody keep an open mind. One of the other things that he brought up, Eliza, you and I were talking about it today on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm single. I'm on the dating scene. Most of the women I run across, it's like they want to jump in bed the very first date.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're worried about your money status.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, that's going to come in time. Let's get to know each other first.
Right.
And a lot of, I'm actually really shocked. A lot of women nowadays are like, hell no, I want you to do me on the first date and we'll see what happens after that. It's like, no, how about we get to know each other and we'll see what happens after that.
I actually got a girlfriend that we had a conversation and she said something similar, and I sat there and said, well, how about you get to know people? And she sat there and said, well, first I need to know how they fuck. And then if they actually fuck decent, then you know what, I might be willing to sit there and try to learn about them and be open to, whatever it is they have to say. But honestly, if they can't fuck because I have a high sex drive, then it's not even worth, entertaining the rest of it, because I'm not going to care how good of a person that they are whenever I need to be serviced.
Okay, but
they're not going to be able to do. And I was just like, what they? All I said was shit. Okay, boo. I mean, at the end of the day, I kind of felt like if that's the way you feel that you need to handle these things, I mean, who am I to sit there and tell you different? If you like it, I love it. But eventually, when it stops working, we have these clips in case you want to know a new way to try to do something. But until then, I mean, because the internet is forever. Till then, by all means.
But see, my response to that is, what, are you not open to new friends? You may realize you guys are awesome friends, but you would not make it as a couple.
Right. Well, she's one of those, if you can't sit there and fuck her right, then she don't even want to be your friend, because it's not even worth, investing any of her time and energy. And I'm sitting here like, I just kind of look at her because, once again, even though I feel differently, I also feel that it is never my place to tell anybody else how they should live their life. Everybody is on their own journey. And whatever that means for you, that's what it means for you. It ain't got to mean the same thing for me. And you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, but being her guy, you're going to be knowing that mindset. Every guy that's her friend, you're going to be like, okay, did this guy have my girlfriend or my wife, or and it.
Hey,
that can open up a whole other trust issue thing.
That is a situation that is not mine. So that very well may be an issue. Not for me, but that very
I can
well
see that being an issue further down the road.
Mm-hmm. That may be one for her. All I can say to that is, woo, that's real deep, honey, but I can't relate. I mean, I know Exile was a hoe. Oh my God, he was a huge hoe. Yes, I actually know majority of the girls he used to smash, and a lot of them used to be friends of mine.
Oh.
And whenever I got with him, matter of fact, one of the girls sat there and said I was getting her sloppy seconds. I said, baby, just because y'all slept together does not mean I'm getting the same him that you had. You had him at 20 years old. The whole mentality was different. The whole stroke game was different. Baby, what I got, don't worry about what I got, because I guarantee you can't get it now. So don't even worry about it. Just live in Memoryville, and I hope it's everything that you wished it could be. Moving on.
All right.
Same person that sat there and told her, honey, if you think you can go ahead and get him, then by all means, I will go ahead and get up out your way. Test your theory out. Needless to say, she was shut down abruptly. This shit was funny. But anywho, I mean, I wasn't really like that. I ain't gonna lie. I tried. They understand. I tried. It didn't work out for me. It did not take me 1,000 times to fuck up for me to know that this might not be the type of life for me. So, but at the end of the day, I think what Marcel had to say was very, very legit in almost every aspect of the word. Today's time, today is different, because even though we want to sit there and say older people that have certain core values, at the end of the day, they're also being bombarded and overstimulated with a lot of this stuff. K-Dot, you sat there and said everything now is becoming electronic, even our way of meeting people. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. If anybody remembers Beauty and the Beast, when the Beast had the mirror, and that was literally his window to the outside world. Do y'all remember that? And he sat there and he told Belle, ask anything or think of anything that you want to see, and it will show you. Tell me that don't sound like a cell phone today. Tell me that don't sound like social media today. But let's look on the other aspect of that. He was trapped in the castle. Not that he could leave whenever he wanted. He was trapped in this castle, and then whenever he was able to leave the castle, he was trapped on a certain land.
Okay.
Trapped. That means he could not, there was a certain extent he could not go to. And that's honestly sounding very much like what the fuck we're dealing with. Nobody wants to sit there and literally get together no more. They want to sit there and get together over social media. And obviously, you know, we're all a part of that. Hence you guys being on the, you know, us being on the panel, and hence you guys sit there and being in the chat with us. But my whole thing is, you know.
But I'm sure if we was together, we all, you know, hang out and all that. You know,
we have a blast, and probably actually go to a restaurant and, you know, actually get some air, you know, some, you know, all kind of shit and oxygen, you know, make sure we healthy, tip top shape, you know. But at the end of the day, he was right. You know, whenever it comes to relationships and things of this nature, we also have to take in consideration, as much as we want what was there at one point in time, it is not the same anymore. Or in order to sit there and have that, there's going to be some different type of compromises, because this is a different type of world. Things are run differently. Things have been implanted differently. Even the way we communicate is different from then. You know what I mean? They used to be able to sit there and go over each other's house and sit there and have a little conversation. Women used to sit there and go to other women's houses all the time, have tea time, have book clubs, have this, have that, and sit there and have a conversation. We don't have that no more. But we still want the same traditional values or something. You know what I mean? We're going to have to sit there and make some type of compromises.
Yeah, we got to compromise. And, but the thing is, you know, you know, a lot of women wanted equality, and in equality, you know, everything has a price. Freedom has a price. You know what I'm saying? It might even be a life sometimes to get the freedom, unfortunately. But it's just, I guess my gripe is, you know, I want to. You want, I guess my gripe is what I'm hearing a lot from women is, I want to be treated traditionally, but I can only give you modern. And I'm just like, well, that's not fair.
No, I think that's the fear that you got going on, because just like Jasmine sat there and said, if you are the person, you know, if you are the person that can sit there and give your version of traditional, as far as what a traditional man is, which we've already had that conversation about the 4 things that a woman honestly needs. And it's not always just financial. Hold on, let me finish. It's not always just financial. It's not, you know, there's 4 different things. We've already sat there and talked about it. It is security. It is, you know, safety. And believe it or not, those 2 are not the same thing. It is love and it is trust. Now, those 2 might be a bit more known, but at the end of the day, when you can give a woman that, then just like she said, she doesn't have a problem sitting there and being submissive to her man. She doesn't have a problem sitting there and catering to her man. She doesn't have a problem sitting there and doing a lot of these things. But at the end of the day, let's just sit there and keep it 100. There's a lot of men out here, regardless of whether you want to speak for them or not, there's a whole lot of men out here that can't even give 2, the most common 2, which is love and trust. They can't even give that, much less these 2 over here, you know, which is safety and security. But then again, they sit here talking about, oh, we want a traditional woman. We want a woman that's going to sit there and do this. Well, what about that? You know, what about her? You know, and then they get mad whenever she feel like she got to sit there and pick up the load. But bruh, if you are not bringing all 4 and all 4 strong, we have to. It's not that we want to. Once again, Jasmine sat there and she validated the same thing I had said earlier. No woman wants to be masculine all the time. Even Becky O said, no woman wants to be masculine all the time. If we are masculine, especially in a relationship, that's your telltale sign that something ain't right. and that there's something that you might need to pick up, or you might not have noticed that you slacking. And we're not, once again, we're not trying to wound your pride. So a lot of times we're not gonna bring it up. But understand, if she's sitting here and being masculine, that's because there's something that you were supposed to do to sit there and carry that masculinity, and you dropped the ball.
Or you already had that masculinity trait and you were a chameleon and came off as traditional, and you, again, not being transparent, and you were always that way. And then even if we do give you the opportunity to be and we're doing what we need to do as far as giving you that room to be feminine, and to where you don't have to be masculine. It's just you're just programmed. Some women are just programmed. No, I'm gonna do it anyway. I mean, I know because I I was married to a woman that way. She came at first. She came off as traditional. Oh, but she quickly switched that shit real quick. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but then again, me being a simp at that particular time, noticing red flags, fuck red flags. I'm talking about red sirens, blow horns, all those times. Get the hell out, But again, I was always taught, if you're in a marriage, you stay in it, better, worse, and all that, those type of things. Because I've seen my parents go through it too. But in the same essence, I stayed in the child's place. I stayed in the child's place, and I didn't get involved with
grown folk issues.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was taught. So,
well, let me say two things.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Doc. We're not going to go into detail of what it is, and some people might not understand, and that's absolutely fine.
Sure.
But we had a phone call the other day where there was a little bit of frustration in my home.
Mm.
Okay. Mm. There were some key things that you brought up, but I'm going to go ahead and put my example out there.
Okay.
I was being feminine. I expressed my concern. Now, mind you, one thing that could have changed the entire narrative is the masculine going ahead and being masculine towards the feminine and saying, okay, let's go ahead and take care of this. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. Therefore, a lot of that, I had to be masculine. And honestly, did I want to? No. Did I have to? Yes. And I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of have an idea about how that entire situation resolved itself.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna ask you: had had some of the masculine been up to par to sit there and cater to the feminine, do you think it would have ended the way it ended?
As far as my particular part, or
no, as far as some of the stuff you were overhearing.
Oh, with your situation.
Yes.
Okay. Say that one more time. I'm sorry. I apologize.
With our situation, if the masculine had been doing the part to go ahead and cater to the feminine, do you think it would have ended the way that it ended?
I don't believe so.
Nor do I. So, well, hold on. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, if his masculinity catered to
my feminine, yes,
correct, it would have ended differently. And I think it was just from starting from a parent point of view, as far as you being priority, seeing certain things.
We're not going to go into all that.
Right. Yeah.
But as far as the chameleon, when it comes to that, because I believe, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's not just women, it's men too. A lot of times whenever we're dating, or a matter of fact, not even dating, whenever we are putting ourselves out there on the market, so to speak, whenever you are engaging with another person, they're going to put their best foot forward. Mm-hmm. They're going to sit there and give you everything that you want. People have to understand, a lot of times, whenever we're attracted to our partners, we're attracted to the trauma because, we're seeing ourselves in them. So we instantly mirror them. Well, there's a lot of people that can also mirror your positive aspects and it not be theirs, but they mirror them what they see from you, and so you
Mhm.
see that back, and you're like, oh, well, you know what? This is the best person since fucking sliced. This is the best thing since sliced bread. Oh my god, where the fuck have you been all of my entire fucking life and the last one?
Right.
You know.
Right.
But then, whenever that mirror comes down, because it was only illusion to reflect your positive aspects of you, then yes. So I mean, you're left with a ton of shit, and we do call those the communions. So I will say this: I am also one of those people that if you're going to get married, I am one of the people that strongly believe in taking, even after you are engaged, taking a few years to still get to know your person. Because I mean, I'm gonna say this: when with Exile and Exile asked me to marry him after 2 years. Um, I said yes, got blessings from our kids because I wanted to know, I understand that if I was going to be his wife, I was not just going to be his wife, I was going to be their stepmom. Okay.
Mm.
So, with that being said, I went ahead and said yes. But Exile and I also were engaged for 5 years. And honestly, I don't regret that at all. I think that's one of the best decisions that we made because now we got to see each other in every single season. And a lot of times, certain shit is not going to come up in that next year.
Okay.
A lot of times, shit isn't going to come up in the next 2 years. After 5 years of now, we already have an unspoken type of arrangement and understanding. Now this gives us time to see what somebody else is like in their morning family, friends, what they are, or what they're like when they're happy, when they're sick, when they're frustrated, when they're angry, when they're ecstatic, when they're near ecstasy. I was able to see everything about this person. And so then I felt comfortable in getting married because of what I thought marriage was. I think another issue that we had as far as why people are not getting married is because marriage don't mean the same thing that it used to mean no more. A lot
I
of
would
people
agree.
still hold the sanctity of marriage under God. We got a lot of people that don't even believe in God. We have some people that now are more spiritual. So,
Mhm.
and the sanctity of that marriage, once again, is not fully different, but it is a little different. Then we got people that honestly don't, different. We can go ahead and go to all the different denominations from being atheists all the way up the ladder. At the end of the day, marriage doesn't mean what we used to think it means. So therefore, if Kada, I'm gonna use you as an example. If I was single and you were single and we sitting here meeting up and obviously we vibing just right, and honestly, I'm giving you what you need and you give me what I need, and you sit there and say, let's get married. I'm thinking we're gonna have a binding ceremony because I'm a spiritual person. You're
Mhm.
thinking we're gonna sit there and go to church and sit there and do all this under God. Then you're sitting here thinking, okay, I'm supposed to sit there and be traditional in all aspects of life, regardless of whether I like it or not, because that's my role. I'm sitting here and thinking, well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and be submissive, but whenever I need to, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up that bag of, I'm gonna have to sit there and pick up my last that masculinity role if I ever need to. Because at the end of the day, I'm masculine and feminine. I am a whole person.
Okay.
Once again, you know, that's not syncing up. But here's the question. Do you think that we would ever have the conversation on what do we think marriage means to us? And if we were to sit there and have that conversation, would we have it with the mindset of what you think? Does that make sense? If I'm
No, that
sitting here
makes
and
sense.
if I'm sitting here and I'm talking about, well, you know what, I believe that we should do this and do this, and then we should get married, under a tree, under the cosmos, and blah 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 blah. Other than
Mhm.
me sitting there and saying that last part, and you're sitting here and saying, okay, well, you know what, she still wants to get married. It's still sacred. It's still this. It's still that. Once again, I never said it was under God. For the record, yes, I still believe in God, but please don't sit there and talk the Bible because the Bible has a whole lot of fuckery. Yes, I said fuckery that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Don't care. You ain't gotta like it. That ain't your job. At the end of the day, Y'all not gonna convince me otherwise. I'm just putting that out there, side note. But the whole thing is, if you're sitting here hearing what you want to hear from my words, and I'm sitting here hearing from your words what I want to hear, we're still not on the same page, and we don't even realize it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Every time.
And then whenever it comes to marriage, that's a foundation. How many foundations have been built on fucking rocks? Let's keep it 100. And for those who don't understand that, let's say you had a girl that literally only once smashed you. That's why. That was her intent of having the interaction at all. You sat there and saw her and you're like, oh my God, you would be a beautiful queen I want to build with. Let's go ahead and, let's build an empire. You know what I mean? Because, you just have, there's just so much about you I want to build. And then she's sitting over here like, but that dick though. Girl, look, I should sit there and send you a picture. Oh my God, he fine. He got nice conversation and shit, but that dick though. Oh my God, girl, do you see how that motherfucker is slanging? Do you see how far that motherfucker is going down in sweatpants though? Oh my God. See, I need to sit there and ride that ride and make sure that ride is mine. Because, honey, that is the biggest motherfucking roller coaster out there. That's the world's largest roller coaster right there. I can't get at her. Once again, foundation is going to crumble because you're not on the same page. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a lot of different aspects to why people don't want to get married. I don't think that people should be forced to get married or feel obligated to get married if they're not ready.
No.
I think there's a lot of people, especially today in today's time, that need to do a lot of healing of themselves before they sit there and try to make any type of contract with anybody else. If you can't be with yourself, if you can't be positive to yourself, how the fuck are you going to sit there and actually have anything of substance to give somebody else? And you can't even be with yourself.
I agree. I mean, and you mind if I leave my final thought?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Because
Okay.
I'm about to sum it up now. We kind of went over
Okay.
time. And yeah.
So my final thought is, again, me personally, I do believe in marriage, and but I understand why men aren't getting married because we look at we're simple, but we're not stupid. We look at facts. We pay attention to outcomes, and what works and what doesn't. And a few men are dating with or not dating with because they have scarcity. They're terrified, because they don't want to get with somebody and they work really hard in their career or wherever they built to get, only for somebody to take that from them, and then own half, and then their children, they're not in their children's lives regularly. Luckily I didn't have to necessarily go through that situation, but the situation that I did go through was when I got divorced, is not regularly having my child with me 24/7, tucking them in, giving them baths and helping them brush his teeth and reading to them and spending time with them on a regular basis. I had to drop my kid off. What? And I had several breakdowns because of that. While I was going through a divorce, because it's just like, I'm not used to this. This is totally foreign to me. I didn't expect for myself to be in this predicament as far as, wow, like, oh shit, this is for real. Like, I'm really not married anymore. And I failed my son, it felt like I failed my son, because I did want to make sure me and his mother was together for him, but in all reality, I think she just checked out, and she just wasn't. It was to the point that she didn't even want to be with herself. And this is what she stated. But to wrap it up, I feel again, men are just, we're we're terrified. We don't want to lose everything just to sign up for something long term, only for it to be temporary.
Mhm.
You know, again, 80% of women leave marriages, and that's just facts. And we don't want to end up in that predicament. And unfortunately, I am part of that statistic. My wife filed for my ex-wife filed for divorce,
Mhm.
and I told her
So,
and I told her she's gonna pay for everything too. If you want to make that executive decision, you're going to pay for everything.
well, I'm gonna go ahead and say this,
Yeah.
because I do gotta go ahead and close this show out.
Okay.
Um, I agree wholeheartedly with that comment. That uh, why you said that a lot of men are afraid to get married. I just want to go ahead and say that's another fear that women also have. You know, Women don't want to be somewhere where they feel like a lot of things were done to obtain them, and then as soon as once again, I'm gonna go ahead and give a scenario. You're sitting here and you're at a job interview, and we're sitting here going through the application process. You've been doing a great job. You've been at that job for a couple years now, and I mean, shit, you've been sitting there talking about you want a promotion, and then you get the promotion, and then all of a sudden, you stop putting in the level of work that you've been putting in because now you have a promotion. Does that make sense?
That makes
Uh,
perfect sense.
a lot of women are afraid that as soon as they get married, the chase is over. As soon as the chase is over,
Mm.
and a lot of men felt like they've won something or obtained something, they no longer have an interest in it. So they no longer have an interest in upkeeping it. They no longer have an interest in doing the same things that made us want to get married in the first place, that made us agree to getting married. Because mind you, a lot of women, when we get married, we are under the impression, and I'm pretty sure it's a lot for men too, but I can't speak on men right now, that whenever we're getting married, everything that we're going through the dating process and the process where we're engaged, we're expecting that to continue. We're not expecting it to stop. We're not expecting it to change. We're not expecting the sex to stop. We're not expecting the sweet nothings and the emotional inspiration and the bond to end, because now it is something that it is a piece of property that's been obtained, versus the chase and the drive as far as trying to obtain it, if that makes any kind of sense.
Mm-hmm.
On top of the fact that women are also afraid of getting divorced as well, sitting there and putting in so much of ourselves, our lives, our time, our sweat, our tears, everything in us, our soul. Because, honey, when a woman loves, and once again, I can only speak for a woman, I can't speak for a man, even though I'm pretty sure some man will be able to resonate with this. When a woman loves, she loves wholeheartedly. She loves with everything in her. And so just the idea of that not being the same 5 years later, 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
So, Road Dog, do you have any final thoughts? And after you, my dear, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down.
I think I pretty much said everything. Just be sure to make sure that person is perfect for you.
Mm-hmm.
Take your time. Don't settle. Look for that person.
I agree.
Too many people do settle. I mean, there is compromises. Don't get me wrong. But you have to find out if those compromises work within that relationship.
Your boundaries.
Correct. And it is really important to have those discussions prior to, and take your time. And like you said, he proposed after 2 years, but you waited 5.
Mm-hmm.
Take that time to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not guaranteed, but
Right.
I
feel more comfortable
in the long run, it should help.
Mm-hmm. I didn't want to feel obligated to something. And I knew the way my heart worked. I knew the way I am. I will do things so effortlessly that a lot of times I don't even realize people are crossing my boundaries until I see it, and then I come off as a bitch because I'm literally abruptly like, nah, y'all been doing this shit for years. Y'all gotten a little too comfortable doing this shit. So here, let me go ahead and reunify. There's a fucking line. You dance on that bitch, you're out.
Right.
And I had to get to that point. So,
But I want to appreciate everybody that came in and appreciate the discussion.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great discussion. Finally got K-Dot thinking.
Now, I came with some facts though. So
I'm not saying they handed it to you, but I did see the wheels turning, and especially when Marcel was talking, I actually saw that those wheels start turning a little bit, and you were like, yeah, he's pretty much saying what I'm trying to say, but just a little bit of a twist to it. And that little bit of a twist was enough to get you thinking, okay, maybe I'm wording this wrong. Maybe that line is just a little bit too far forward or too far back. And, so I was actually glad to see that.
Well, I will definitely sit there and tell him that you said that. His computer shut down, so he's literally on the charger, and his phone is also dead, which is why he wasn't on his phone at first. So,
tell him I said I appreciate him getting K-Dot thinking.
I definitely will. Well, with that being said, thank you so much for everybody that watched. Thank you so much for everybody that joined. We will probably be having another panel sometime next week, depending on how I feel. Do not quote me on that, but if we are, I will go ahead and put out the link. Let everybody know if you guys want to be on the panel. Those who need to be on the panel will get the link. Everybody else, I'm gonna let y'all know a few minutes ahead of time that it's about to be on and popping. But with that said, this is where I must say adieu. Thank you so much, guys, for being amazing. And
thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate it, Eliza.
You're very, very welcome. I want you guys to have a wonderful night.
Yep, because I'm going to sleep. And I got to go to the bathroom like old school. So.